This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty, yes. Welcome aboard on a beautiful Tuesday. We are back. We are rocking and rolling. We got a lot of things to talk about, actually. You know, it's kind of odd, right? Because you would figure there really isn't that much to talk about. But you know what? Every time I do my research, somehow or another, I'm able to find all kinds of stuff to talk about. So welcome aboard to all of you out there. I see a bunch of you have loaded up on the chat board already, as we appreciate it out there as always. We're here for you, right? I think the intercom stations crapped out again. They don't have enough money to put anything up for content, I guess. Anyway, so we are here for you. See, unlike, those sorry-ass intercom stations, we are here for you every day, man. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it, that you can actually tune in and count on us. You can go back and listen to the podcast. And for those of you that are new, man, you can go back and go on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. You can subscribe here to the YouTube channel. And, you got plenty of time on your hands. There's plenty of shows to binge on, plenty of segments. I think, maybe over the last 7 months, I think Bill has posted maybe 7,000 segments. So there's plenty of things for you guys to go out there and enjoy on our page. So thank you, of course, for joining us, and welcome aboard here on the text machine, which I already see a bunch. As Jesse Minneapolis is in the house, Mark is in the house, Movie Talk Antonio's in, Ian from Brooklyn, Mace, Dwayne, all this stuff. Samuel Ross says, hey, Big O, just came off the Dan Patrick show, and they believe the Dolphins are trading up for Tua. We all know that's not true. Well, but it's good stuff to talk about, right? So that's the beauty, that they can stir it up, and they got really not, they don't know what to talk about, so let's just make up some crap. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne Hadley is chiming in. John Rouse is in the house. Rouse in the house. There you go. John, we got you. I hear more and more people saying Miami's very interested in trading up for Burrow. Yeah, they can say all they want. That's just not the reality. That's not the Dolphins saying it. Remember, the Dolphins aren't talking to any of these people. Chris Grier's not talking to any of the beat guys. He's not telling them what's going on. Let's see. Lewis Jones says, Big O, what it do? King Short is chiming in. I like it. I like it. It's already got a strong, strong presence there on the chat board. Remember to give us the thumbs up and the likes, and grab the link, the YouTube link, and share it with the friends. Send it to them on their text or her. They might be bored. They don't know that they've got sports talk here that they can actually listen to every single day, actually. Hardcore sports talk. It's a beautiful thing. Now, let's get into a couple things going on. First of all, the Tua video is out, right? And they show him there dropping back and all that good stuff. And look, I'm happy for the kid. You know, I really am. I want him to succeed because he's such a likable dude. But remember that thing that we've talked about, the likable guy. And it's hard for us to compartmentalize and look at the likable guy and say, man, we really like Tim Tebow. But there were a lot of people that loved Tim Tebow. Not that I'm comparing the two, by the way, which is really not fair. But my point is on the nice guy thing, and we've talked about this before, that you have a hard time being honest with yourself because you root for the person, right? And Tebow was like that, and there were people that were rooting for Tebow that didn't see that he couldn't play. Well, the problem with Tua is a lot of people, right? Like when I talk about Tua and I talk about his injury history, people are like, well, you know, that's not fair that you're looking at him that way. Well, how else am I supposed to look at him? I mean, I can look at him because he's super accurate. Okay, so that's his track record. The dude is accurate. The dude can make quick decisions. The kid can throw people open. Love his accuracy. I've already told you, I get sexually aroused when you've got accuracy. Okay? I mean, that's the kind of football fan I am. That if I see a quarterback has accuracy, I'm already sexually aroused. I want him on my Dolphins, like right away. And so I love that part of his game. But the same track record that I know he's accurate, the same track record that I know that he knows how to read and react to defenses quickly, the same track record that I see that he can throw people open, he can lead receivers, all of those traits that he has, he also has the trait that he breaks down. And that's been his MO from high school through the short-term college career that he had. That's all I can go by. And so when I see him drop back yesterday, you know, and what was it? Was it Get Up, I think, where Dan Orlovsky's on, and he's almost having a wet dream. Do they even say wet dream? He's having an orgasm. Do they say orgasm? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. He's basically going all nuts about the drop back. And to me, it's just a video. And I'm glad that he can drop back. I'm glad that he can throw the football. I'm glad that he's doing what he loves to do, because we all love doing something we enjoy, right? And this is his joy. And I completely understand that. But when I look at Tua, I see injuries. Just like when I saw Yatil Green, I see injuries. When I see Jameis Winston, I see interceptions. I mean, I can't help it, right? You see, with Jameis, you know that there's interceptions coming. So you got to work with that. Whoever signs him has got to work with his discipline. You know what I'm saying? And so with Tua, that's kind of the track record. It's nice that you can drop back, but your repaired hip doesn't make you durable. Your repaired ankles don't make you durable because you constantly break down. And here's the other thing. It's a different part of his body every time. So that kind of tells me that overall you're fragile. And look, being fragile in football is bad for him. In our world, it's not, because you and I would break down just like Tua. and maybe even worse, because the human body's not made for football. And so to me, you can show me all these videos and tell me, oh, yeah, no, he's ahead of progress. And that's nice. That doesn't mean that you're going to stay healthy. All this means is you're rehabbing to get on the field to get injured again. And I know some of you out there are saying, well, oh, dude, how can you be so negative that he's going to get injured? Well, that's all I can go by. I wish I can go by, well, you know, oh, he went through 2 years of not getting injured. Which really, I would not be that impressed of one season. I would be impressed if it was multiple seasons. But the kid can't even stay one season healthy. So what you're telling me is your body is not durable. You are not reliable. You're a reliable human being. You're a reliable professional. You're a reliable passer. But your body cannot be counted on to play every game. So if you're the Dolphins, do you trade up for a guy that is not reliable? You tell me. Because that doesn't make any sense to me that you would actually trade up for a guy that's not reliable. How does that make any sense? I'd almost, you know, in a scary way, even though Herbert's got, you know, maturity issues, and I still think some of his inaccuracies can be worked on because I think it's more of a mechanical thing that he is like that at times, because he has plenty of moments where you're like, whoa, and he's really accurate. So even when he's been inaccurate, I think you can even work with his, because I don't think he's an inaccurate quarterback as it is. I think he's a guy that has some fundamental issues at times, and you can work with that. But having said all that, I'd almost rather do that with Herbert. Seriously. And I know Herbert's not a better quarterback than Tua. I know Tua's a better quarterback, but I just can't trust you. Whereas Herbert, he's built like a freaking mountain. He doesn't get injured. So maybe I can work on issues, work on his maturity, and I don't wrong here. I don't want to draft Herbert either at 5. What I'm saying is, because he's just going to be beaten down and broken down every single time. Think about this. And you got to play football. Okay? It's not a repaired hip and you're doing radio every day and sitting on your ass for 4 hours. Okay? That's what I'm doing. Tua can do this with no problem. But now we're asking him to move up to the next level where the guys are bigger, stronger, faster, and they hit harder. Oh, and they play more games. And so now we're asking Tua to stay healthy in a longer season that is much tougher than it is in college. And he can't stay healthy in high school or in college. And he had an All-American line in college. It's really hard. That's why I'd rather go at 5 with a position. If I get, you know, whatever, Thomas, I know I'm going to get myself, Brown, I'm sorry. I'm going to get myself of a D lineman. I know that if I get Becton or whoever, you know, there's 3-4 offensive linemen, whichever ones you like. I don't care. We could go back and forth and split hairs on it. But you get any of those top linemen, I know for the next 10 years. Not that they would get him, but let's say you draft Okudah. Okay, so now I'm going to have 3 monster corners, And I know I'm going to have 3 monster corners now, and I'm going to cover everything in sight. Yeah. Why am I going to take a chance on a guy that there's a good chance he can't stay healthy? And then I'm just going to be regretting the entire time that I took the guy and I could have taken a plug-in player at number 5. Why? Because I'm desperate for a quarterback? I get it. I know we're all desperate for a quarterback, but you can kind of hold off. I'd rather take another project down the line in the draft. Take Jordan Love with the 18th pick if he's there. If he's not there, then you wait and you take Anthony Gordon and you take any of the other guys down there. That's it. And then the following year, you move for another quarterback. But watching Tua work out was really nice to see him work out. I'm happy for him. But it doesn't get me excited about anything whatsoever because I still don't know. You know what will get me excited about Tua? Let me watch him take like 8 hits from all kinds of linemen, and I want to see him get up. And then I'll be impressed. That'll impress me. How about the first time a defensive end comes around the corner and drills him right on that hip? Because they do that all the time. They tackle you in the middle part of your body. How's that hip going to react to a 280-pound defensive end coming around the corner like a werewolf and attacking? Oh, and by the way, they know his hip is repaired. Guess what? Guess what has an X on the spot? It's an imaginary one, okay? It's not like Jerry came over and painted an X on Tom's ass, and then there's a bull that's coming to hit it. No, it's an imaginary one. It's one that the defensive end has on his mind going, all right, I'm playing against a kid with repaired ankles and a repaired hip. I know where I'm going to hit him. Oh, you don't want me to hit him in the head? Oh, I don't have a problem with that. We'll attack Tua in the lower part of his body. It's all right, no problem. We're us defensive ends of the world, let's attack Tua in the lower half of his body. How's that lower half going to react after tackle, after tackle, after tackle? Huh? Do you remember how Fitzpatrick played this year? Remember the hits that Ryan Fitzpatrick took this year? You ask yourself now, can Tua take those hits? Can he get up off the grass or the artificial turf after hit after hit after hit on that lower body? Oh, and as he gets tackled, what does he normally land on? A hip. I'm just saying. It's nice that he's recovering. It's nice that he's dropping back. But I have no idea if he has any. No, I know he has no durability. He has to prove that he can be durable because he's never been durable.
He was just limping, right, at the combine. That's 3 weeks ago, correct?
Yeah.
What I was going to ask is, how long did he do that? Was that for 5 minutes?
It doesn't
and
matter.
That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the
I
soreness,
gotcha.
or did he do it for an hour?
Or was that the cleanest drop out of all of them?
Thank you. Yes,
They
right.
filmed all of them.
Edited.
Maybe he had a little giddy up on a couple of other ones, and then that one was like the good one. Okay, that's the one we'll post.
You don't even see him when he gets done and walking away. Like everything's cool, I'm good, right?
Listen, we've all got time on our hands, right? Just go watch quarterback hits in the NFL. I'm just telling you how many times that they're passing and then the guy's hitting you right here. I just want to know. I mean,
And that's where they want to aim, because if you hit him in the knees, you get a penalty.
right, exactly. But hey, the hip, no penalty, but there's some pain.
That's the lowest target.
So, You think about that. How is he going to react from all of that? Is he going to get up every single time? Those are the things you have to think about. I love the kid. I love him as a passer. I've said it all year. Okay? And I got off the bandwagon, for those of you that are new to the show, right after he injured the knee, which is right before the hip. Remember, he had another injury before he had the hip? And I said, enough's enough, bro. This guy's always injured. And then he blows out the hip. I didn't even need the hip to just say I'm done with him. These are things you have to think about. I get it. Man, we all want a quarterback. Okay? Trust me. I get it. I understand it. I feel you 1,000%. But I don't want to go through a guy that can't stay healthy. That would be, to me, that would be just an absolute deflating move. That you draft a kid and then you end up watching the kid break down and break down and break down, and he never becomes what you know he can be. That's the thing about Tua, that you look at him and it's like, man, this guy could play in this league. He can throw.
If he could just come to the neighborhood and be all-time quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Nobody rushing.
Right.
5 Mississippis you got to throw.
Yeah.
And he's all-time quarterback.
Could be. Could be. Let's see. What else do we have? Myron says, draft him, period. We don't know if there's going to be another NFL season. If an NFL season, I'm not even a Dolphin fan, but go ahead and regret it. No. That's easy for you to say because you're not a Dolphin fan. So you don't care if he fails. I care if it fails because that's a huge pick that you could have an offensive lineman for the next 10, 12 years. You know, here's the part that I don't understand for some of you out there. Let's talk about this. Here's what I don't understand. If we don't get a quarterback, then what was all this for? All this was for to reset the team and get better. Did they not get better by getting rid of everything and starting all over? Yeah. Now they have a clean slate. They don't have any more cap issues. They don't have to worry about managing and mortgaging the future every single year because you don't have cap space in the current cap. And then you put yourself in a real dire need because you're guaranteeing contracts into the future that you don't know if these guys are going to be around to actually live out the contracts. That's the vicious cycle that people don't take into account. Okay? This was about turning over this roster, and that's what they did. Now they've got a plethora of picks. Some of you out there want to give back all those picks. Well, no, let's trade up 3-4 picks to go get a guy. Well, then what the hell did you do? That's when I would say, what the hell did you do this for? We've watched Peyton Manning win a Super Bowl with no arm. We've watched Ryan Tannehill throw for 70 yards on consecutive weeks to advance in the playoffs.
Beat the Patriots in New England.
Exactly. So what you're talking about is building up a team to be a great team. And then if you can find the quarterback, great. But you can't force it. Because you're going to fail more often than not when you draft quarterbacks. It's not something that you normally hit on. There's a good chance Tua fails. Look, a couple years ago, Mariota and Winston, they're both busts. You had Leaf and you had Manning. Leaf ended up to be a bust. Happens all the time, man.
And that kid's arm throwing in the blizzard, man, bombs.
Yeah. So you look at all these guys that get taken early. Jamarcus Russell, they end up being a bust. Blaine Gabbert taken early, a bust. It goes on and on and on and on. Look at Baker Mayfield. The first year, he lit up the world, and then last year struggled big time. Now he's a major question mark because he was a one-year wonder. And then they get film on you, and then they figure you out. And if you can't counter it, you're done. And this year's a huge year for Baker because if he doesn't counter it, then he's a bust. You're going to fail a lot. So if you don't force it, you can load your team up and have a great football team. Now you got to find your quarterback. And maybe they don't want to put themselves in a position where you have the quarterback, but then you don't have enough around him. Because that's what would happen. You would give up a lot of your top picks in order to move up to get that quarterback. And those top picks are tackles. Those top picks could be a center. Those top picks could be a defensive tackle. Those top picks could be a shutdown corner. Those top picks could be a dynamic running back. All these other things that you need in order to win. Remember, those of us that are old enough, we lived the era of Marino. And we saw Marino light up the world, but because he didn't have the team around him, he didn't get it done. And so we don't want to get into that same rut. And we're now watching that there's a lot of teams out there, it's not a lot of teams, but there are several teams over the years that have had a lot of success with a guy that's, nothing special at quarterback, but the rest of the team is special. So while you build that team, you still got to find your quarterback. But can you imagine? Okay? It's nice to trade all those picks and have the quarterback, but then if you don't have the talent around him, it's harder for him to win. Can you also imagine trading your picks, your 3 first-rounders, for a guy, and then he doesn't pan out, so now you lose out on the opportunity of building a really strong team that maybe could win with an average quarterback, and now you also lost out on your franchise quarterback because the guy you traded up for is a bust. So now you didn't get either. Now you're back to square one again, and now where do you go? So now that you built up all this draft capital, use the draft capital to build a hell of a football team. Because that hell of a football team might give you extra picks down the line. And you might be able to trade for a quarterback. You never know. I will give you another option when we come back on the other side. Let me tell you about Toyota of Hollywood because they are open till midnight. They are ready to help you out, folks. They've got over 400,000 square feet, state-of-the-art. Steve Ostrob and the boys, they've been tearing it up, man. #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States now. 6 years in a row, folks. And listen, they're going to make your payments till 2021. 0% financing for 72 months. That's why I'm telling you, you got to get on down to 1841 North State Road 7, just a couple blocks south of that big, beautiful guitar. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you if you're buying or leasing. And don't forget, folks, you don't make any payments for 90 days right now. They want to help you out during these tough times at Toyota of Hollywood.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opa-locka, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street, open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
I understand how this world works at times, right? We have people that read a headline because you're too freaking lazy to actually read the article. And then you go off on the headline, and the headline has really nothing to do with the article. Why? Because you're a stinking lazy ass, and you don't listen, and you don't pay attention. And then you have people that are hearing somebody say something, and then they go off to whatever tangent they want and create whatever opinion they want because they hear whatever the hell they want instead of actually paying attention and listening to what the person is actually saying. And one that would go under that is Miami Kid J, who's a complete dumbass. Big O, you hate on Josh Allen for being inaccurate, but you love Herbert. Come on, man. Where did I say I love Herbert? Where did I say I love Herbert? I'm sorry. When have I said I love Herbert?
Actually, you've said he's immature, and I really don't want the kid.
I just said in the opening half hour that I would not draft him at 5. All I said is that instead of dealing with a sack of injuries like Tua, gun to head, I'd rather just deal with Herbert. That's all I said. But I don't want Tua, and I don't want Herbert. Miami Kid J, pay attention, dumbass, to what I'm saying. Listen. You're on here all the time. At what point did I ever say I love Herbert? At what point have I ever said I would draft Herbert? Please tell me. Because it's not. It doesn't exist. You can go back and watch all the videos. You can listen to all the audios. There's a huge problem in this country. A lot of you out there, you watch something and you formulate your own opinion off of something that no one said. You don't actually pay attention to the words coming out of someone's mouth. Doesn't matter what it is. Sports, music, politics, whatever you're talking about, you will listen and hear whatever the hell you want. Meanwhile, I've never said I love Herbert. I've never said I want him on the Dolphins. But there's Miami J Kid, and there's a lot of people that are just like that. Let me tell you something. Bill cuts up the show all the time in segments. Okay? Rants, segments, interviews, all that stuff. Right? And I'll post those, right, on Twitter. it's funny because I'll post one right with a headline of to kind of tease the interview, tease the rant, tease whatever point I'm trying to make, and then somebody will answer like right away, and they were completely off, and I could tell they never listened to the segment. They just kind of went half-ass off the headline, and then I usually sometimes answer back right away, and I'll say, first of all, I can tell you never listened to the segment because you answered right away. You're going off of the headline. How about not being lazy and listen to actually what was said in the segment? Then I never hear from them again because obviously I've called your ass out already. So, now you're uncomfortable because I called your ass out. So, Miami Kid Jay, dude, pay attention. Listen to what somebody is actually saying. Don't make shit up. Okay? I mean, that's the problem in this society. Some of you just like to make crap up. No one has ever said here that I love Herbert at all. At no point.
On the contrary.
I mean, I couldn't be more clear that I don't want Justin Herbert on this team. I couldn't be more clear that I don't want Tua on this team. And I've even said, I understand if they take him at 5. I understand that one. I do, because you're so jaded that you think that you're going to miss out on it, so you're going to do it and take the chance. And what have I said? What have I said for months now? That if you do take Tua and you make that commitment at 5, what are you supposed to do? What have I said? Take another quarterback later. Have I not said that? Why? Because I'm not comfortable with Tua at 5. Because I expect him to break down. If you listen to me, if you pay attention, then you'll know what the hell I'm saying. That's all. It's pretty simple.
I could even remember the conversation, me trying to get you to look at it like the kid's young, this, that. He's been playing in his backyard, maybe going across the country, not having his family in it, that he may grow up. And you're like, no, he's been there, and everybody that sees him says the same thing.
Yeah. That's why I just it's not a guy. I trust. Bro Marshmelly says Tua just looks fragile. Oh no, he doesn't look fragile. He is fragile. Doesn't look it. He is fragile. Okay? In fact, Tua's jersey in the back should say handle with care, is what it should say. Finally, the S word, it's getting real. Anthony Giandiletti, I think it is. Would you trade for Watson, Big O? Just curious your thoughts of that possibility. Anthony, considering you don't have to give up much for Deshaun Watson because Bill O'Brien is the GM and the head coach and he doesn't really ask for much, hells to the yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's trade for Deshaun Watson. Yeah. But they're only paying him $2 million this year, like $10 million next year or something like that. They've got him for $12 more million now. Let's talk a little Deshaun Watson, okay? For those of you that don't know about this, Deshaun Watson tweeted out a Drake song called "Emotionless." Okay. Now, first of all, I apologize to those of you out there that are younger and you're really Drake fans and you're hardcore and all that. If I mishandle this, the Drake stuff, it's because I'm not a Drake guy, okay? I don't really listen to Drake's music, so I don't know it inside and out. So I apologize ahead of time for my ignorance if I'm not good at doing this stuff with Drake, okay? The lines and all that, I don't know how it goes. But anyway, he tweeted out a line from apparently a song called "Emotionless" from Drake. And it says, I don't know how I'm a make it out of here clean. Can't even keep track of who plays for the other team. Iconic duos ripped and split at the seams. So he tweeted that out yesterday. That thing went viral. People are all assuming that, obviously iconic duos ripped and split at the seams. He's thinking himself and Hopkins, right? Which that is pretty much a pretty cool iconic duo right there. And so this I got to say I love for our Dolphins. Not that it's going to happen because it's slim to none, but here's the thing. He's got 2 years left on his deal. Okay? If I'm Deshaun Watson, I've watched what happened with Clowney. I watch what happens with Hopkins, right? I'm going to want out. And let me tell you something. We got all this stuff going on with the coronavirus and everything going on in the offseason, and they've got to re-sign Laramie Tunsil also. If they don't give Hopkins a contract this offseason, okay, next offseason he's going to be going into his final year. That's where he can play some serious hardball with them and force them into a trade. Because if you know he's a little injury prone, if you know that you're not going to be able to sign him to a long-term deal and all you're going to do is live off a tag that they may not be able to afford because they got to pay other guys, then, and they know that if they risk injury, they won't be able to trade him, right? So here's a guy that they may have to move by next offseason. Not this offseason, but next offseason. Dolphins have a ton of picks. This is a guy that could be had. And he's a playmaker, man. He is a playmaker. Whew. Damn. This is a guy that I definitely wouldn't mind making a move for. You won't have to give up that much because you can always bamboozle these idiots for a good deal. But he's one of those guys that could become available that if you're not going to be, as long as you're not irresponsible, which so far they've been very responsible, I don't believe that Chris Grier is going to pick up all of these draft picks and then trade them all away for one guy. I just don't believe that. Think about this. There is talk that maybe there's 4 to 5 tackles. Okay? Let's have a little fun with this. Let's say you trade all your first-round picks for Joe Burrow. Okay, so then when are you going to get your tackle? In the second round? So Joe Burrow gets killed just like Peyton Manning? Is that what we're going to do? I mean, Peyton Manning, I'm sorry. Andrew Luck? Is that what you're going to do? No, man.
Right team, wrong guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, come on, man. No. You don't want to do that. Let's load up this team. That's what I want to see. That's what I think makes a ton of sense right now. Load up this roster. I mean, you saw it right. You saw last year they won 5 games with a bare minimum roster and a journeyman quarterback. Now you look at the additions in free agency, and if you have a great draft where you add several pieces, you're going to make some leaps and bounds in this division. A lot faster than I expected. Because I told you guys, years 3, probably more like 4 into the playoffs. Who knows? Years 2 and 3 now you could be in the playoffs. Especially since they added a 7th team now, make it a little easier to get in. That actually might fast-track the whole thing for the Dolphins.
You know what's crazy? We had a horrible rush defense. We had absolutely no secondary.
None.
And we won 5 of our last 9. How?
Now you're going to have 2 lockdown corners.
We didn't have Preston Williams. We didn't have Preston Williams. And Parker was missing for a few of those games, remember? And he decided to come back.
Yeah.
So look, how did we win those games?
No, Parker didn't miss a couple games. He came right back the following week.
It was right back?
Right back the following week.
I remember.
He caught 2 touchdowns that
we were at
week.
Doral. We were at the Doral Animal Shelter.
Yes.
When we were talking about should he even bother coming back. I remember that.
Yep. I look forward to going back there, too. We haven't been to the Doral Animal Shelter in a while. Let's see. Yo, Wendy Torres, that's how you win games, period. History shows us. Well, I'm like I told you yesterday, they won a Super Bowl here with Bob Greasy throwing 6 passes. Bob Greasy threw 6 passes. Peyton Manning couldn't throw one. And both won Super Bowls.
4 of them were to Hall of Famer Paul Warfield. Though.
Yeah. Helps. Helps. Big time. Man of 1,005 holds agree. Why trade up and minus yourself? Build a team. You can load on a QB at any time. All right, let's get into something else that I find really interesting. Can I throw this out there for you guys? Okay? First of all, can anybody give you 45 minutes of Dolphins talk already like we have anywhere? Even if those 2 stations were on, could they do what we just did? No. All right, so let's just have some fun with this. It's the off season, and the coronavirus is going on. Who says you can't talk sports? Who says you can't have some fun with this? Of course we can. All right, so now, you guys know what I'm talking about now, that don't reach for the quarterback, don't be irresponsible, load up the freaking team. Correct? You're with me on this. All right, you're following me on this. So if you don't think Tua's going to be there, you're not convinced with Herbert, you're not getting Joe Burrow, that's just stupidity, okay? So you're at 5. You got a shot at getting a hell of a lineman that you can add for the next 10 to 15 years, okay? A hell of a defensive tackle that, let me tell you, you get Brown and you put him next to Wilkins, and you got Godchow there too. Man, I'm just loving life, dude. Okay, so follow me on this, all right? Because you're going to freak out early on me right now, okay? You know you got Fitzpatrick. You know you got Rosen. Now, you didn't take a quarterback at 5. Love left at 10, 12, 14 before your 18th pick. Couldn't get Jordan Love either, all right? Follow me on this scenario. So now you're loading up on a D lineman, on an O lineman, on a running back. You're getting another corner. You're getting a center. You're loading up in all these places that you need. Follow me. You signed Jameis Winston. Yeah. He's the most talented quarterback that's available. He's a top 10 talent-wise quarterback in the NFL. He knows Fitzpatrick. They work together, okay? He comes in. You tell him, hey, Jameis, we want to bring you in. We want to teach you the system. We want you to get comfortable. We want you to get to know the fellas. We want you to compete. It's not your job. It's Fitzpatrick's job. If you become ready to compete and take over, we'll put you in that spot. Are you better off just loading up this football team in all those places and try to resurrect the career of Jameis Winston? I'm not done yet. Now you're in the 3rd and 4th rounds and the 5th rounds. That's where you take Anthony Gordon out of Washington State. That's where you take Nate Stanley out of Iowa. That's where you take the Davidson kid out of Princeton. That's where you take the Morgan kid out of FIU. Take a project. I know it's a 4th quarterback. I get it. You don't have 53 guys that you have to keep on your roster. Or it's 55 now. You don't have that many. You can keep the extra quarterback. Okay? And then you bring in Winston, and you have him earn his way, where in practice he's not throwing interceptions, where in practice he's running your scout team, which would make your defense a little better that you got Jameis Winston running your scout team, because you got a better quarterback running your scout team. And then now that he's been humbled this way, he has an opportunity to kind of work his way up to that position. And you can teach him. He can be disciplined. It will also, light an even bigger fire in Rosen's ass. And you don't know what you're going to get out of Rosen either. And this way, a little more time. And if somehow or another you get Jameis Winston to you got yourself a productive quarterback. And if he doesn't, you're not paying him a lot of money, and you cut him and you move on. Because there's not going to be a signing bonus. There's not going to be a long-term commitment. It'll probably be a 2-year deal where he has an opportunity to grow and improve himself, and then you keep him around. And if not, you let him go. And you lose nothing cap-wise. You lose nothing draft-wise. All that equity that you collected, you still have it. Can you imagine if you load up this football team with those draft picks in the next 2 years and you sign Jameis Winston and he becomes a player for you and you never had to draft your franchise quarterback? Why not?
You didn't
take
have
that
to give up
chance?
nothing.
Nothing.
It's just take him out like Preston Williams off the street. Nothing.
Nothing. Not even money. Because if he balls out, the second year's on a bonus.
Incentive laden, right?
Yeah.
Give him targets to hit.
Yeah, that's it.
And if you cut him in half, like you're talking about 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, 15 interceptions.
It's not great. 2 for 1 is all right.
Yeah,
You'd want it even better than that, but it's a huge start.
It's a
enormous
step in the right direction.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be in that. You got to be in that mode if you're the Dolphins. You can't be in the desperation mode where you're just going to give up the house just because you're dying for that quarterback. We're all dying for that quarterback. Every one of us. We all want that quarterback. I get it, man. I totally understand it. Makes all the sense in the world. But we got to do it the right way. You can't be desperate about it. You got to give yourself an opportunity to grow the entire football team. And like I told you yesterday, it's been proven over time that there are moments where Ryan Tannehill, he's nothing special, and you got to an AFC Championship game because you had a running game, an offensive line, and a defense. You won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, and he could barely throw for 5 yards. Brad Johnson won with a dominant defense. That's how it goes. Trent Dilfer won. I mean, so guys have won it all. And guys have gone really deep, like Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And Nick Foles is just a Jag. Literally, he was a Jag too. And he won a Super Bowl. So you don't. We cannot watch them give away the house. And I'm pretty sure that what you're hearing from media members is not what the Dolphins are thinking. They're thinking more along the lines of what I've told you. Okay? They're thinking more along the lines that we need to build a deep football team. We're going to make the job of the quarterback that it's not going to be that hard for him in order to win. All he has to do is make some plays, and the rest of the team will take over. Now, if you find that amazing stud, well, that's great. That's a bonus for you. But don't give away all the draft capital you have just amassed. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm sitting here thinking about it, and listen, we were on a minimum 2 to 3 year plan, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because of us going 5-4, it like, you know what I mean? You start you start accelerating your
Microwave
expectations.
society, baby.
Right?
Yes. You're 1,000% right. That's what happens. It's a microwave society, and now we want to speed up the process, but I don't think the process is already sped up for us as it is. Because, see, last year they found a couple gems. They cleared out all that cap space, and they built up all that draft equity. Now, I think they were phenomenal in free agency. Now you go out and knock it out of the park with the draft, and we're going to feel really good about the Dolphins. Think about this. Ladies and gentlemen, how we feel now about the Dolphins compared to where we were at the beginning of last year, I mean, it's night and day already. Because now you see it. But let's not hurry up the process, and let's not trip up on ourselves and make brutal mistakes that could set you back. Stay the course. Build up the talent base instead of giving it away for something that you don't even know is going to be a hit or not. Joe Burrow could be the same thing as Baker Mayfield, man. Same thing. Maybe he comes in, lights it up, and then the second year gets exposed and struggles.
That would follow Trubisky.
Right.
He looked good at first, and since,
Yep. All right, let me read a couple of texts here. Remember to give us a thumbs up while you're watching here on the YouTube broadcast. Also, share the link, man. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of your friends. They're not getting any sports talk because really, I mean, what are you going to listen to on intercom? They got no balls there. They're not going to say anything. They're not afraid. They're afraid, bro. They got the people above them that stop them all the time from saying anything. So you can listen here every day. So share the link for the folks. All right? And subscribe also to our channel, please. Let's see. Dean G says, draft picks, first and second from the Texans are like gold. I think if we wanted to make a trade, it was those picks to use. Let's see. King Short says, we don't want Winston or Cam. Cam, no. I'm not in a Cam. Cam, I wouldn't take. But Winston, I would take a chance on. At this point, that one really does not hurt to take a chance on. Because you're not paying anything. You're not losing anything. And if he doesn't work out, you cut him and you move on. Vernon Porter says, Winston needs discipline, my goodness. Yes, he does. And what is Flores? Okay? Flores might be the guy that could reach him. Regardless, we are in prime position to be allowed not to be QB needy this year and have Fields and Trevor available next year. Let's see. Dougie Fresh. I want to call my grandma if we get old reject QBs from another team. Let's see. Anthony says, Miami Dolphins of old pay big money for washed-up flash players. Miami Dolphins of new give smart contracts to positions in the trenches. You are correct, sir. Myron says, now that is not a bad idea, King Short says, Winston would help the defensive scout team learn how to make INTs, You are correct, King Short. Let's see. Andy Raphael, King, damn. Let's see what else. Samuel Ross says, Dolphins thought process was far different now than Tannenbaum. Oh, yeah. Way different. GPP Central says facts. Let's see. What else do we have here? Robert Gonzalez. Hey, Chris Jones trade. What's up? I don't think they're going to be able to trade for Chris Jones. And if instead of trading for Chris Jones, just draft Brown at 5. And you can get yourself a dominant defensive lineman. William Kwan says, I understand what you're saying, but this season was about finding a quarterback. Nothing else matters. Like you always say, if you have conviction on QB, you get him. That's all. And we've done nothing for 25 plus years. So if they don't draft him, then they don't have a conviction, right? And who's to say that this was all about a quarterback? Why? Because that's all media driven. I'm sorry. Did Chris Greer or the owner come out and say, we are now just searching for a QB next year? Or did they just say they're resetting the team and they're rebuilding? I don't think they told you that they're getting a QB. That's all media creation, bro. The media told you also they were tanking. How'd that work out? The media also told you that everybody wanted off the team. How'd that work out? The media also told you everybody gave up on the team. How did that work out? You're going to keep believing all the crap that the media has to create in 24-hour cycles because they got nothing better to talk about. You go ahead. Enjoy yourself. Livardo Arcapate, or whatever it says there. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. You think these coaches are good enough to cut down his INTs? I don't know. Well, I'll tell you this. Ryan Fitzpatrick somehow or another was not an INT machine this year. I'm just saying. Let's see. Big O, I do not want the chance to go deep in the playoffs. I want a championship. Well, that's what they're trying to work for, my brother. Troy Ortiz says, Can is a me guy. Stay away. Clowney, too. Only cares about money. Clowney, I don't think they're going to go after Clowney, dude. That's not what they're not going to give up that kind of money for that. Anyway, they got their pass rushers. Dean G says, if Bruce Arians cannot change Winston, I would say stay away from him. You know what, Dean G? That's a very logical approach on your part. All right, it is noon. Let's take a quick break. Tom Brady is going to address the media. Let's hear what Tom Brady has to say. We'll do that next here on The Big O Show.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when you unused. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street, open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. All right, we're going to have the
affected by things, the current landscape around the world, and we hope that life will return to normal for all of us soon.
You get to hear what he has
To say that this is an exciting day for the Buccaneers organization and me personally, it would be a rather large understatement. Tom is quite simply the greatest quarterback to play the game of football, and anytime you can add someone his caliber, you instantly make your organization better. He's got a long list of true accomplishments in his career, frankly too many to mention here. Going after Tom in free agency was our #1 priority this offseason because we knew he'd be a perfect fit for what we're trying to do here. He's a Buccaneer today, not for what he's done in the past, but for what we know he can accomplish here in the near future as well. We know that Tom's going to have a transformative effect in our locker room, and he's going to demand the best out of himself, his teammates, and anybody that's around him. I'd also, at this point, like to thank the Glazer family for providing us with the resources and the leadership to make us such a bold move in free agency. We wouldn't be here today if not for their passion and desire to win another Super Bowl, hopefully more, for our fans. This was an all-out effort from every level of the organization, from scouts to coaches to our front office and especially ownership. And today we begin a new era for the Buccaneers that will define our franchise for many years to come. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Coach Arians.
Yeah, to echo what Jason said, I hope everybody's healthy, your families are healthy, and you're dealing with this crisis that we're going through. And hopefully football can be a little bit of a bright light for the upcoming days and months ahead. Like Jason said, I'm extremely excited. Wish we could start practice tomorrow, but we can't, obviously. And to have Tom lead our football team into the future, I've been very, very blessed as a coach. I've been around some of the great ones, and now to have the greatest one of all time. Not because of, to me, what he does on the field, but what he does to his teammates. Everywhere he makes everyone better that walks into that huddle, and really just excited to get started.
Hi, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time today. This is it's an exciting moment for me in my life. Just entering something that's obviously very unique to me, is it's the first time it's happened in 20 years. So I'm kind of taking it day by day. And, the expectation for me is to come in and do what, I feel is, right for the organization. That's to be a great team player. And I'm going to try to do everything I can to get up to speed with all the things that I need to do and what my responsibilities are. I obviously have a ton of trust and respect for Coach Arians, for what Jason and what he's done to build the team and organization as is now. And, I'm thankful to the Glazer family to give me an opportunity. And as I said the other day, I look forward to meeting all my teammates and just doing everything I can to for us to achieve what we set out. And there's a lot of things that go into it. And, as soon as we can get those things going, the greater will be for everybody. But understanding the circumstance of what we're dealing with, we're in a little different approach, and we have to adjust. That's what happens in football and in life. And that's what my plan is.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and open it to questions now. We'll take our first question from Greg Allman of The Athletic. Your line is open.
Hi, Tom. Welcome to Tampa. My question for you is just that you've had nothing but success in New England, and beyond your own additions to the locker room, what can you do to change things here in Tampa where they haven't been to the playoffs for as long as they have?
Well, I think, it's obviously where I've been, I've learned a great deal. And, as I move forward, I said the other day, no one cares what you've done in the past. They don't care what you did last year or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And, I think hopefully the knowledge, I've had in my experience playing quarterback, will allow me to, transition quickly. There's a lot of things I got to get up to speed on. Obviously learning different terminology, and that's a unique challenge that I haven't faced, but it's one that I'm looking forward to also. So again, I don't want to, I'm not going to make, a bunch of predictions to where I've been. I go in with, looking forward to the opportunity to learn from the new coaches and the new players that I'll be playing with, and I'm going to go out and give everything I got.
Thank you.
We'll move next to Jenna Lane of ESPN. Your line is open.
Hi, Tom. Welcome to Tampa. It's no secret the Bucs haven't won many. It's no secret the Bucs haven't won many games in the last decade plus. A lot of change too. What gave you the confidence to know that Tampa Bay was the right place for you?
Well, I'm not going to, and I don't want to get into every process decision I was making at the time. But there are a lot of things that really were intriguing to me about the organization and the players and the coaches and the willingness of everyone to try to accomplish what the goal of playing football is, which is to win. So I'm going to try to do everything I can in my position and what I'm responsible for to make it happen. And, I've got to trust that everyone else is doing the exact same thing. So in that part, it's no different from, what I've experienced, for 20 years in my own role.
Our next question is from Sam Farmer of the Los Angeles Times.
Hey, Tom. Congratulations.
Hey, Sam. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Some of the quarterbacks who have had success late in their careers, I'm thinking about guys like John Elway and Peyton Manning, grew increasingly reliant on their running games and defenses. Bruce has never really had a game manager type of quarterback. Even back in Cleveland with Kelly Holcomb comes in the playoff game at Pittsburgh, throws for 400 yards. How attractive to you is Bruce's no risk it, no biscuit mentality? And was that a factor? Is it appealing to you that he puts the game on the shoulders of his quarterback?
Well, I think, I've obviously paid attention to, he and his offense for, a long time. So, everybody has, somewhat different styles and philosophies in how they call things and so forth. But, I don't think, football to me is about, throwing the ball to the guy who's open. And if he's open deep, that's where you throw it. If he's open short, you throw it there. If he's open outside, you throw it there. If they're open inside, that's where you throw it. You get to the guy, you get the ball to the guys who can do something with it. And, there's some really talented players here on this offense that, that have very unique skill sets. And it's really my responsibility to, I have one ball, and I got to be able to deliver that ball to the guy who can do something with it. So, there's a lot of ground to make up because, I haven't worked with, these players, and I'm going to have to learn what they do and their body language and how they like things. And, that's part of the challenge. And, it's unfortunate we're going through in our world. It presents different challenges for all of us. So, again, as soon as we have the opportunity to all be together in one place and we can really start working toward that, and that's what I'm going to do.
Great. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Sam.
Next to John Romano of the Tampa Bay Times.
Hey, Tom. I'm assuming that you looked at some video of the Buccaneers before you made this decision. Is there any moment or look or play that stood out to you that told you that this was the right place, that this was an offense that was going to work good for you and for the team?
I don't think, there's not one single thing, that's got to the point where I'm at today. I think just, I've done, and playing quarterback for a long time, that's what I do is I watch film and I study and I try to learn, I try to grow, I try to evolve every year. And, I've watched this offense over a long period of time with a lot of different quarterbacks have a lot of success. And it's a great offense for the quarterbacks, it's a great offense for the receivers, for the tight ends, for the running backs. There's been a lot of great players who have been a part of, working with Coach Arians. And, again, for me, it's for me to come in and understand the things I got to learn to be successful within what we're all trying to do, and what we collectively do well. It's not about what one player does well, and great offenses aren't about one player. Great offenses are about every guy being on the same page and playing with confidence and anticipation. So until you can get to work on doing those things, and for me, getting a lot of the logistical things out of the way is important because there's a tactical aspect that I got to get to, where I got to, that I really got to get up to speed on. So that's going to be a busy off season for me, learning a lot of new things, which is a great challenge and a great opportunity for me. And, I'm going to just do it the only way I know how to do it, which is just to, fully engulf myself in what's done here. It's a new program that I'm a part of, and they have their way of doing things, and they're committed to winning, and I got to come in and do my part, and that's why I'm here.
We'll move next to Jarrett Bell of USA Today.
Hello? Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Hey, Jared. Good, Jared. Good talking to you.
Yeah. Couple things. Obviously, like you said, it's a difficult time in our nation, and you put that against the context of this being such a new thing for you as well. How would you describe how the pandemic is affecting your personal life, your family life, and what you're having to deal with in regards to that?
Yeah, I think, there's, logistical things that are happening that, are, not just for me, for everyone dealing with, everyone's going through their lives in a different way right now. And there's still a lot of change happening, and you just got to try to manage it as best possible. So, everyone seems to be in different locations, but I think the important part is everyone's trying to make it work, and everyone's trying to figure out how to adjust and adapt to some new realities that we're all facing. So, you've seen a lot of these other leagues that have been canceled, delayed. We as football players, there's aspects of our off season that have changed, and I'm sure will change to a degree, but that doesn't stop me from figuring out what I've got to do in my professional life to try to still, learn the things I need to learn and train the way I need to train. And, because as far as I know, there's nothing that's, delayed the start of our season at this point. And, I've got to do everything I can to be prepared as I would in a off season where we weren't dealing with what we're dealing with. So, again, I'm not making any predictions about that. I'm just going to take it day to day with how I'm doing, and I'm going to try to, learn things I need to learn. And, it's just, there's not going to, one day at a time is a cliche, but it's definitely not a cliche in the way that I'm trying to live my life right now. So it's just been a new reality for all of us.
Hey, Tom, also, I know Joe Montana was your guy when you were growing up. How did it strike you as a fan of his to see him leave the 49ers after so many years? And in what ways do you relate to how Joe finished his career with another team after so many years with the 49ers?
I was at Joe's last game at Candlestick Park. I actually went up there and saw it with my friend, and I'll never forget that. So he was an incredible player. He and Steve Young were my quarterback idols growing up. And, I just think life, it continues to change for all of us. And, just having the opportunity for me to continue to play football and, lead a team is something that, I love doing. And I've loved playing the sport since I was a kid, since I was throwing footballs in the parking lot at Candlestick. And I still love doing that today. And, I train hard. I try to keep my body as, physically fit as possible. Mentally, I try to stay sharp, although it's going to be a different challenge this year in learning. But, I'm going to do everything I can to do the best I possibly can. And I'm just excited to embrace this opportunity and see it for what it is, which is, a lot of guys that, have been a part of this team that, they want to be the best they can be, and they want to achieve, the highest goal. And I've been very fortunate to be a part of that. And there's no way to do it, and you can't talk your way into it. You got to just align, trying to do the right thing. So, again, I don't know when our first, OTA will be, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of guys that, I'm excited to meet, and, I'm going to try to get the best out of them. And
Bolden of the Boston Globe.
Hey, Tom, congrats on signing with Tampa Bay and starting your new journey down there.
Thanks,
I have a question about your leaving New England, your departure here. Robert Kraft did several interviews the other day, or whenever that was, when he left, stating that this was really what you wanted, that leaving New England was what you wanted, and that if you had wanted to come back to the Patriots, they would have made a deal happen, but that you leaving and you wanting to start elsewhere was what you wanted to do. Would you agree with that assessment?
Well, again, I'm not responsible for, how other people, will say certain things. I think Mr. Kraft has, been a great influence in my life, and I'm so grateful for, 2 decades. You know, and you know, I referenced that the other day. It's been a amazing thing for my family, and I'm sure when I'm done playing, I'll look back and have a chance to really reevaluate, you know, my entire career. But you know, at the same time, I'm excited for, you know, this opportunity that I have, and you know, I can only speak to how I feel, and you know, I wrote about that in my social media the other day, and you know, this was getting to be a free agent, and you know, having the opportunity to join the Bucs was something that I was really excited about, and that's where we're at. That's why we're at where we're at.
Were you disappointed that the Patriots maybe didn't make more of an effort to bring you back, or maybe show some more appreciation given all you've accomplished for the team?
No, I have a great deal of respect for, you know, there's nobody who's been a bigger fan of the Patriots than me. So I have nothing but total respect and love, and you know, I'm so grateful to Mr. Kraft and the organization and Coach Belichick and all the coaches and obviously all my teammates. It's been a lot of days responding to a lot of incredible text messages from my teammates, from former teammates, from just a lot of the great people I've got to meet over the years. And I have so many great relationships that, you know, will be maintained. And, you know, that's, I think, the greatest gift that football has brought me is the relationships that I've had with so many people I've worked with. So it'll be certainly different, but at the same time, you know, that's the way life can be at times. And what won't be different is my approach to the game, my approach to what my roles and responsibilities are. And I'm going to go out and do the best I can every day to put our team in a position to win.
Our next question is from Ira Kaufman of Joe Bucks fan. Your line is open.
Thank you. I got a question for Coach Arians. How are you, Bruce?
Doing great, Ira. How you doing?
Doing well, my friend. Bruce, how does it feel landing the man that was standing behind door number 2? And why is Tom Brady the right fit, Bruce, for this team at this moment?
Well, yeah, I think when, you know, we do our due diligence every year after a season to see how we can better our football team and better our organization. You know, we look at everybody that might be available at the quarterback position. Obviously, really never dreaming that Tom would be available, but if he was going to be our number 1 choice, mainly because he can make everything. He can do everything we want to do in our offense, but more than that is his leadership ability that we need in our locker room to get where we want to go. And so, yeah, once that became a reality, it was full bore ahead. Let's see what we got to do and see if we can get this done.
Our next question is from Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports.
Tom, congratulations, and hope you and your family are safe and healthy. I want to ask you, you've mentioned a couple of times now about the unique challenges that this offseason may and certainly likely will present. I know you've opted against OTAs in New England the last 2 years. This year's OTAs obviously seem to be very much in doubt. In the event that you can't get on the field with your teammates, at least on the Bucs facility field, for any number of months, how do you plan to get to know your teammates on and off the field?
Well, you know, I think, again, I'm not going to make predictions about how the next few months are going to go, and I don't really know what's going to happen and what's predicted with, you know, our access to the team facilities and so forth. So I'm going to do the best I can to be in conversation with guys and try to get together and find ways to meet up in different places and get to work in that sense. So technology is an amazing thing, and we're going to use the technology as best we can to try to you know, get to know each other. And, you know, for me, you know, they're ahead of me on what they need to know in terms of the offense. So I really got to get up to speed with, you know, the things that they already know in their terminology. And it's, you know, it's just a lot of time and energy, but it's, you know, that's what I love to do. So that's what, the only way to start is to start doing it. And, you know, that's what I got to do.
Our next question is from Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times.
Hey, Tom, congratulations. You're not only leaving an organization after 20 years, but you're moving to Tampa, Florida. What do you know about this area? Have you spent any time here? And just what are your thoughts about, different climate, different region of the country?
Yeah, I think that's thanks for the question. There's a lot of change, and it's just that you go from the northeast to the south. The climate's different. It's there's a lot of things that'll be a little bit different. My drive to work will be different. I mean, there's a lot of things. So, and it's not like I'm 25 where I just basically pack a suitcase and go. I mean, I have 3 kids, and it's just changing a little bit of our life, but that's life, and that's what people do, and that's what you do when you have opportunities at other jobs and other places. And there's a lot of coaches that deal with that. There's a lot of players that have dealt with that. They deal with it every year, and in that sense, I'm no different than what so many other people have gone through. And you do the best you can do, and you make the transition as smooth as possible. And again, for me, what's most important is to try to make it a smooth transition with my family, just so I can get to work on the things I need to focus on. So hopefully I can get those things finished here in the next couple of weeks, and get up to speed with the things I need to learn. And a lot of that is just studying a playbook and getting to know my teammates, by phone calls and so forth, until we have the opportunity to be together and try to get to know each other in that type of way.
Our next question is from Karen Grugian of the Boston Herald.
Hi, Tom. Congratulations.
Thanks, Karen. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too. When in your mind did you officially cut the cord with the Patriots, and how hard was it to tell Robert and the Patriots you were moving on?
It was really, the night that I had stopped by and seen, I spoke with Mr. Kraft and asked if I could come over and see him. And we spoke, and we had a great conversation. And I just wanted to express, what he's meant to me in my life. And we spoke with Coach Belichick at the same time. We were at different locations, so we talked to him, and it was a great conversation. And got a chance to talk to Jonathan Kraft as well. And, all 3 of those guys have been involved in so many important decisions in my life, but career-related, personal-related. And, I leave there with just great admiration for the people in that organization. And it's a world-class, first-class organization in every way. And I wanted to leave it that way, too. So I know the Patriots have a great team. They always do. They have great players, great leadership, great coaches. And, I certainly wish them the best. But for me, I've got to transition and focus on the opportunity that I have to, make the current situation I'm in as best I possibly can. And, they hired me to do a job here, and I'm going to go in there and do it like you've always seen me do for a long time. Like, the fans have always seen me do, like opposing coaches, my teammates have seen me do. And I'm going to give it everything I got, like I've done everything in my life for as long as I've been playing this sport.
We'll take a question from Nate Davis of the USA Today.
Hi, Tom. Maybe 2-part question. One, have you talked to Chris Godwin about getting number 12? And secondly, just your thoughts about being able to, the new challenge of the NFC South and facing, Drew Brees. You guys are in the top leaderboards together now, but facing him and Matt Ryan 2 times a year.
Yeah, it's a good division with good quarterbacks, very good offenses, but, very athletic defenses too. So, winning the division is always a hard thing to do. These teams know each other so well. I didn't play this division once, but every 4 years. So, I got to learn the players. I got to learn the schemes. There's a lot of things that I've got to learn and get up to speed on. So that's where a lot of my time and energy, it's where all my time and energy is going to be focused on and trying to do that. And also learning my teammates and learning guys like Mike and Chris, OJ, Cam, and a lot of the skill players. Ron Jones, and obviously the offensive line, who's a very talented group. So there's a lot of things for me to focus on, and a lot of time and energy is going to be spent on getting up to speed with the tactical things about how I can do the best job I can for the team. So anything outside of that, is really in essence not a high priority for me. It's not to say that things are unimportant. It's just I've got to be able to prioritize my time and energy so that I can learn what I need to learn and go out there and do a great job for this organization.
And our next question is from Dan Lucas of WFLA-TV.
Hey, Tom. The offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, is not far removed from his own playing career, and he's one of an up-and-coming coach in the league, and he's also getting the grasp of play calling and the install and things like that. How excited are you about working with a young coach of his stature, and what do you think you can offer him when you're able to finally get together?
Yeah, I'm excited. We've had a chance to talk a couple times, and I just really enjoy getting to know him a little bit. Obviously, we're right around the same age, and I watched him play for a long time, competed against him, and he's done an incredible job transitioning into his second career, which is as a coach. And it's going to be a lot of fun. That's all I could say is I'm excited to do it. So I think Byron, gets along with just about everybody he comes in contact with because he's a very personable, outgoing guy, and everyone says great things about him. And in my brief experiences talking to him, I would say all those things seem to be true. So he's got great football knowledge, and it'll be fun to get to know each other. It'll be fun to talk about football. We both have made a huge commitment in our lives to do that, and it'll be fun to take on this challenge together.
Our final question comes from Jeff Howe of The Athletic.
Hey, Tom. Just pretty straightforward question here. What would it have taken for you to stay in New England?
Well, again, I don't want to talk about the past because that's not relevant to what's important in my future and what's going on this off season for me. And like I said, I had nothing but 2 decades of an incredible experience and learning from some of the best players and the best coaches and the ownership of the team. And I think for all of us, things in life can change, and you got to be able to adapt and evolve. And with each of those changes, become different opportunities to learn and grow. And that's where I'm at. And anytime you leave somewhere, it's very emotional. And I've had my, it's been, the transition was, I would say, is very emotional with a lot of guys that I've talked to, that I've shared the field with, because the relationships are what matter most to me. And, I'm going to be friends with my teammates, my former teammates and coaches for the rest of my life. And that's not going to lead just because I'm wearing a different jersey. But at the same time, for me, the new jersey I'm wearing, I'm prepared to give them every bit of commitment that I've had my entire career to be the best I could be, to help this team be the best it could be. And I did say there's not one person that, that makes a team. It's every single person doing their job every day that's committed and determined to be the best. And, I'm a very disciplined, quarterback. I try to, follow through on, the things that I'm committed to, and I try to work every day to be the best I could be. And that's what I'm going to try to push my teammates to do. And, I'm just excited to get started. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys calling in, and take care, and hope to see y'all soon. Hope to see you guys all in person soon, sometime down the road.
There you go. That is Tom Brady's press conference as he was introduced as the new Bucs quarterback. He said very little. He stayed very vanilla, but there were a couple of things that did stand out to me. We'll address those on the other side. I do want to tell you a little bit about Craig Zins, Acura Pembroke Pines, finest dealership in the business. No better Acura dealership in the planet. ILX right now, 209, TLX 249, RDX 339, MDX 349. They've got a customer appreciation sale going on right now. That's right, folks. If you are a current Acura customer and you want to buy or lease a new vehicle, baby, they will give you $500 off. Also, they have 90 days off, no payments. So when you buy or lease a vehicle, you're going to get 90 days off. All right, so check it out at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Tell them that Big O sent you, Larry Schlossberg and the boys. We'll take care of you, man. They've got special interest rates as low as 0.99%, man. I'm telling you, get on down to Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when you and used. 50% less. Pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. Pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. Pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street, open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We back. And we thank all of you for hanging in there. As always, don't forget to give us the thumbs up there on the broadcast. Give us a like. Share the link. Send it to a friend on text. You can put on share, and then you hit the little share button, and you can actually share it with a friend, post it on Facebook,
Wrap
on
it with
Twitter.
the bow. It's a gift.
Yeah, send it to somebody on the text. Maybe a friend of yours is they're jonesing for some sports talk. So
I'm pretty sure right now they are.
yes, and you're not going to get this kind of sports talk anywhere else anyway, locally. That's for damn sure. So Brady, look, it was all blah blah blah. The key was when he was talking about how, the one thing that he goes, hey, I'm not responsible how people say things, talking about how Kraft was saying this was his decision, all that. That's as controversial as it got. He was dead set on not saying anything negative about the organization, about departure. He did not talk about what it would take for him to stay there. He did not want to address the fact that they didn't go all the way for him. You know what was interesting in that conversation? When he tells you that he went over to meet Kraft at his house, but Belichick was on the phone. That tells you all you need to know right there. Belichick did not want him back. Belichick was ready to move on without him. And that's what this is all about. This is all about egos. And Brady will not say anything right now. And why? Because, he said it's a first-class organization. I want to, kind of leave in the same fashion. So he wants to take the high road. I can guarantee you that if he wins the Super Bowl, there'll be a little bit of a dig there. Probably directed more at Belichick than anybody else. He won't even mention Belichick directly, but it'll be some kind of an indirect shot at Belichick. And you got to admit, and I know we're all bred to hate the Patriots and Brady because we're Dolphin fans. And I asked this question over the weekend. And on this show, it's a little harder to ask this question because you're talking to a bunch of Dolphin fans, because there's a lot of Dolphin fans that are watching. And I know there's a lot of you out there that aren't Dolphin fans also watching, but obviously we have a large contingent of Dolphin fans that watch and listen to the podcasts of this show all the time. But it is an interesting race to see who has more success. Will Belichick have more success? Will Brady have more success? Is Brady in better position? That's what I was asking this weekend over the next 2 years, because Brady has a 2-year contract. Look, we can't talk about 5 years from now because Belichick can be coaching 5 years from now. We have no idea if Brady can be playing 5 years from now. He can tell me
his target's 2 years, 45.
Right,
that's what he's always been saying.
Right. It's so at least he's going to play these next 2 years. Okay? If he plays more, then we can get to that conversation. Who's going to be more successful in the next 2 years? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? That's the question. That's what I would pose to you all out there. Put it on Twitter at Big O Show. Put it on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. Also, you can put it on the YouTube chat board. I'm not saying which one's going to win a title. Maybe neither one wins a title in the next 2 years. Maybe you think one of them will win a title. I don't know. That's up to you, whatever you see. But who has more success in the next 2 years without each other? And this is all about ego. This is about one guy trying to prove the other guy wrong. Don't kid yourselves. Okay? That's why this whole breakup's happening, because one guy didn't show the appreciation, the other guy didn't feel he received the love he's supposed to get. And we've talked about this before, that most of these relationships end ugly. Even when Ben Volin was, I think it was Ben, no, it wasn't Ben Volin. I think it was Jarrett Bell from USA Today when asked him about, Montana. And he was at the last game Montana played at Candlestick before he got shipped off to Kansas City. And what were the correlations? And even with that, he didn't want to go anywhere near taking a shot at the Patriots. It was kind of a boring press conference. There were only a few things in there that were kind of juicy that you're like, And there is a correlation. Now, the difference is that when they shipped Montana to Kansas City, that's because they had Steve Young there already for a couple of years. And we were getting all to a point, those of us that are old and live this, those of you that are young, you don't know what the hell we're talking about. But those of us that have a little age on ourselves, we were at a point like, dude, why'd you trade for Young if you're not going to play him? It was like that. It was, it was a couple of years that he was sitting on the bench. And you're like, they got a stud quarterback just sitting there. And finally, they had to move Montana because they had to play Steve Young at that point. You know what I mean? But that's the difference. You had a great quarterback waiting in the wings to play. They don't have one in New England. So you're getting rid of a guy, and it's not like you have Andrew Luck. You know what I mean? It's weird. And that's why this whole thing is a little different. And you could tell that Belichick wanted to move on. Guaranteed that he wanted to move on. He wasn't willing to pay Brady what he thought he was worth. And he wasn't willing to commit to him on a long-term basis. It was a year-to-year thing. And this has been brewing for a couple of years, according to some reports out there. But he wanted no part of taking any shots at the organization. He wanted to take the high road in this entire interview. You saw it. You heard it. But I did
Maybe he wants to ensure his free dinners and free drinks forever in New England.
Maybe. You never know. But the fact that Belichick was not there, that's all you need to know about that. That's all you need to know. So this is now a race. Who has more success over the next couple of years? And I got to tell you right now, if we had to break it down between these two at this point in time, I think Brady's the guy that has the inside track right now. Brady has the better receivers, has the better tight end, has probably the better offensive line, even though they need to improve it, but they've lost some guys on their offensive line already as it is. And they have the better quarterback. So the Bucs have all kinds of advantages. And by the way, Bruce Arians is no slouch. He can coach. And their defense was top 10 in the second half of the season last year.
Last 6 games.
Yeah, so they were playing at a higher level. And I know the Patriots have a decent defense, but right now, I would have to say that the Bucs and Tom Brady are going to have more success over the next 2 years. And here's where I would differ with a lot of people about Belichick. And again, I'm always willing to go out on a limb, good or bad, okay? And I think Dolph fans are going to love this one. I don't think Belichick's going to have the success people think he is. I don't think Belichick's going to turn around and be the genius that people think. Well, we know that he has been a genius, but I think everybody's run ends at one point or another. And you remember when Chuck Noll was on the back end of his career in Pittsburgh, and it kind of looked like he was losing his fastball?
Yeah.
What was Tom Landry also losing his fastball?
One win, right? Last.
Was Don Shula losing his fastball? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's not make it sound like great coaches don't lose their fastball. Let's not make it sound like if you're a great coach, you're a great coach forever.
That last one, Shula, was a hard one to admit.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, we got to admit it. I mean, football was changing, salary cap was coming in. It was a whole different challenge for Shula. It was an issue for him. Let's just admit it. We have to admit it. And Chuck Noll was losing his fastball. Again, young people, you don't really have perspective because you haven't lived long enough. So it's the only advantage we have over you, okay? So we can't run faster than you. We probably can't think faster than you. We can't do some things better than you, but we've got perspective. We've got experience. Okay? Phil Jackson, kind of, he couldn't run a basketball team as a GM, right? Because he didn't have touch. Now, okay, that's a different position for him. Maybe it's not a good example. But coaches do lose their fastball. And it's happened in football in the past. I believe Belichick will lose his fastball. I do. Here's his arrogance. Cody Kessler, Brian Hoyer, and Jarrett Stidham. He is dead set on my system will win. I will get these guys, and they will be serviceable enough for me to win my games and get to the playoffs and make deep runs. I disagree. And you lost a lot of guys that left that team once you lost Brady. I got to see it to believe it, bro. I saw you lose your fastball this year against Tennessee. You lost your fastball. And that's where, again, I'm always willing to go out on that limb that other people aren't willing to go out on. All right? And I'm sure a lot of you Dolphins are probably happy I'm saying this. And quite frankly, that's why I wanted Brady to stay. Because I know where our Dolphins are going. They're going this way, baby. They're going this way. They're going to become the team of this division again. I am convinced of that 1,000%. I wanted to see the Dolphins kick Belichick and Brady's ass. That's what I wanted to see over the next couple of years. I wanted to see them take over. So if I thought that they were going to take over with Brady, why wouldn't I think they're going to take over without Brady? Am I supposed to be not consistent? Am I supposed to be inconsistent? Am I supposed to tell you I think the Dolphins are going to take over this division over the next couple of years? And I want Brady to stay. And then all of a sudden now Brady is gone. And I'm going to tell you that now that Brady's gone, Belichick and the Patriots are still going to dominate this division? Hell no, dude. Hell no. I certainly don't believe in Sam Darnold or Adam Gase. And Josh Allen is not winning a jack in the NFL because he can't throw. Brian Flores, for me, is the best coach in the division at this point in time, outside of Belichick, of course. I'm talking about those three guys. And I think he's going to have the better team overall, so he will be able to take down Belichick. I don't believe this transition is going to be like everybody makes it out to be. And I know a lot of people lean on the Matt Castle year because they won 11 games when Brady was out. You know what that was, right? That's a product of you're a championship caliber team that just lost your championship caliber quarterback. And everybody says, oh, we got to raise our level of play. And so for 1 year, you play out of your mind. You're motivated to overcome the Brady thing. You're not in a great division. You end up getting 11 games. But if Brady would have been out forever after that, they would have gone downhill after that because you just mentally cannot maintain it. And having said all that, you still did not play good enough to win that division. Okay? Because the Dolphins were able to win that division that year. So that tells me that, okay, it's an aberration. It's the one season without Brady. But I just look at it and say, that's just a freak. That's not the norm. And you're not going to be able to maintain that. And the Patriot teams you have now don't compare to that team back in those days. Not even close.
You know what it is for the Patriots? Because here, take everybody back in time. When we had Marino, we always had a chance. We were never out of a game because of that guy. And Brady, it gives you that.
Same thing.
You're in.
Always.
Aaron Rodgers.
Always.
Those guys,
always.
You're always in the game. Doesn't matter who's playing, who's on the field, who's hurt, who just left the game. You have a chance.
Yep. No, I'm with you there. I agree with that. Let's see what we got here on the chat board. Should have some interesting things. There's a lot of material in this conference call with Brady was tired of Belichick, period. Josh says, holy crap, there you are talking about you, Big O. Yes, I am. I'm here talking about me. Big O, is like, really, these are the questions they're asking? Yeah, no, some of the questions were good. It's just his answers. He wanted to go vanilla. Is Brady the first player to come down to South Florida to collect millions just before retiring? LOL. Well, first of all, Samuel, he's not coming to South Florida. He's in Central Florida. But, let's not confuse the two areas. King Short says, confusion say the only thing constant in life is change. That's right, sir. King Short, just hate. We won't get the chance to hammer him twice this year. I'm with you, man.
We only get him in the preseason.
Yep, that's it. Robert Gonzalez, any news on this Chris Jones trade? I don't know anything about this Chris Jones trade. We'll look it up for you there on a Chris Jones trade, but I don't know anything about that. I haven't been looking, so I have no idea if there's really any news on Chris Jones. And you cannot trade Chris Jones if you're the Chiefs. Unless you're convinced that the dude hates you and never wants to sign with you. But, man, Chris Jones, that's a difference maker. Myron says, NorCal, I'm liking Tom Brady after this conference call. Yeah.
If he was retiring and not in the game, happened to be on the field, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He maybe would have said a little bit more because he doesn't have to deal. He's not in it.
Right.
He's still in it. We're probably not going to hear him say anything regarding the real until he's done.
Or, out of respect for Kraft, he says nothing, but he still has plenty of hatred for Belichick. That's why I'm saying that if he does win a Super Bowl in Tampa, at that moment you will hear some kind of an indirect shot at Belichick.
Just a jab.
Just some kind of little jab.
Stomach punch to the solar flex.
Yep.
Gut.
Troy George says, it was interesting yesterday when the Big O asked Chris Perkins who would he pick if Tua and Herbert were gone. Perkins had no answer. The media has no vision beyond QB. No, maybe Perk doesn't like anybody else like at 5. That's all. Maybe he doesn't think about it that way. He thinks just quarterback at that point. See, remember, I'm different. I can think about those quarterbacks. I just don't want those quarterbacks. That's why I'm a little different. Mel Kiper has Jordan Love going to the Pats. Okay. That would be interesting. That would make sense.
Do you really think Love's going to slip that far, man?
No, I don't.
I was going to say, you got the Chargers, the Raiders, Indianapolis. There's so many teams, right?
Yeah. Michael Melvin says, love you, Big O. You're the best. I appreciate that. Very kind. Not true, but very kind. Jay says, Doll fans are real. You damn right. Let's see. Pellegrino says, Ross should hire Kiper to do the Finns draft. No, please. Let's see. I believe Brady will have more success, Josh says. Sage McKinley says Brady next year for sure, then Belichick the remaining years. Mace or Ty says Belichick. Pellegrino. I'm sorry. Yuki says, hi, peeps. Bucks are trading first-round pick for Belichick. There you go. Dean G says, without Brady, he's 51-65. Nate Dogg says, what's up? Let's see. NorCal says, Belichick lost players and coaches. If he succeeds again, he's a genius. Splat the Finns for life. Splat the Pats, Finns for life. The Raging Dolphin Maniac says, do you think Belichick will come close to Shula's record? Oh, yeah, he will. He's definitely going to come close. Bromar Smelly says, the Raging not without a great QB. Ray says, I'm glad, Big O. I don't want Belichick to get our Shula all-time winning record. He's like 48 wins away. If he hangs around long enough, he still might get it. But he's going to come close. Troy Ortiz, Big O, who's the better coach, Shula or Belichick? Dude, we have to give it to Belichick, bro. We have no choice. Guy has 6 titles, man.
You know what? Think about this, though. Most years of his 20 in New England, our other 3, us, Jets, Bills, us, not very good.
No,
and at best, one of us was decent. This isn't the Brett Jones, Steve Grogan, you know what I mean, where there was always 3 of us. Buffalo was kind of whatever, you know.
Right.
But we were all competitive.
Yeah.
New England's had the advantage of, dude, pretty much, think about it, 6 layups. You're halfway to 12 wins, man.
Yeah. Well, I get
most
that,
years. Now,
you still
obviously,
you still have to win the playoffs. I don't care about that. The people said about the Colts too when they were making the playoffs, or the Texans because they're in an easy division. Brother, you still got to win in the playoffs. So I don't care about that stuff. I mean, the fact that our division is crap, it is what it is, man. Dean G says, nobody protects the football better than Tom Brady. Brady makes everything for the Pats. Wait now. We finally get to see the Pats go 6-10. No way I would trade up for Tua. That's what Michael says. Vernon Porter says, I'm hoping in 2 years the Dolphins are more successful than everybody. I agree with that. Samuel Rosa says, Miami still beat them in the last game last year. I agree. That's why I wanted Brady to stay, because I have a lot of confidence. I'm one of the very few people on the planet and in the Dolphin Nation that has a ton of confidence of what direction the Dolphins are finally going in. That's all, and I think they're going in an awesome direction. I think they're going to be a winning team. Careful, this Jameson Miami thing might grow some legs. Well, I would bring Winston in, man. I'm telling you, you cannot lose by bringing Jameis Winston in. If he sucks and he keeps turning over the ball, you cut him. You're not going to pay him a lot of money anyway. So I'm all with it, man. He has to prove himself. Build a 90s Dallas O-line and take Tua. My man, he had an All-American line in Alabama. You do know that, right? So building a line for Tua, you're going to get hit in the NFL. Okay? All right? You will get hit in the NFL.
The advantage that Alabama's offensive line had versus whatever defense in college, it doesn't matter what offensive line you put in the NFL. It's going to be opposite NFL defensive players. It's not going to be that big of a differential, right?
No.
It ain't.
No, it's not. It's not. So you're going to get hit, bro. It's the NFL. You watch Fitzpatrick last year. He got annihilated. Just think about it. Can Tua survive half of those hits? I'm not even asking all of the hits Fitzpatrick took. I want you to survive half the hits. Does Tua survive half the hits? Of course not. Okay?
You guys need to think of Christmas Story. He's Italian. He's fragile.
There you go. Fragile. GPP Central says, I've tried telling everybody about Winston. I got backlash so hard. Glad you're on the same boat as me, Big O. It's not so much being on the same boat. It's a risk that has all reward and no losses for it. Because, okay, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to let me walk you through this. Okay, if you acquire Winston, I'm sorry. We got Manny Navarro. It's already 1:02. Let's take a quick break. We'll continue this talk after Manny Navarro. Well, maybe we'll do some of it with Manny. Lord knows we can't do a lot of UM talk with him, but our Canes wear Miami Hurricanes report. That's next with Manny Navarro. We'll probably talk more Dolphins with him than anything else. Back with more.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when you and use. 50% less. Pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. Pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. Pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street, open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Time now for our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. I don't know how much Hurricanes we'll be talking with Manny Navarro because there isn't a lot of Hurricanes going on. But, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. You can get a lot of tips on how to deal with boredom, how to teach your kids, how to hang
What's
out
it like
all day.
being Mr. Mom?
What's it like? Yeah, being Mr. Mom, because, he's got a lot of experience right now. So for you misters out there, you want some tips, you got to reach out to Manny Navarro. In fact, I would imagine there's an athletic article coming out about Mr. Mom during this crisis, right?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do the how to be Mr. Mom from home when you're a sports writer, and how difficult it is to get your daughters to sit and do anything but play on their phone or their tablet, because that's all they want to do. They don't want to do any sort of reading. They don't want to do any sort of activities. It's all about the internet, man, and being connected.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. Hey, listen, right now there's not a lot of UM stuff that we could talk about, but the one thing I will ask you before I ask you a couple of other general questions that we've been talking about here on the show is when you look at how football's going to change because of the coronavirus, and as this continues and as it extends into the summer, what has the University of Miami football program said on how it's going to adjust its schedule as it goes along? And is there any chance that even the football schedule itself could be altered?
Well, I mean, in terms of schedule and all that, I mean, I don't think teams have talked about the target date of being able to start fall football August 1st. That's the goal in their minds. But beyond that, I mean, everything is just up in the air. Okay. As far as the season goes, as far as any real planning and expectations for when guys will be back. I mean, right now everybody's on their own working out. They're just really sending them sort of individual workouts for different groups, and they're doing what they can, man, to get by this epidemic and to pass the time and to be ready for whatever football resumes. I know as far as recruiting is concerned, they're doing some virtual sort of visits. I just saw it now on Twitter. Manny put out one of the videos with Marcus Van Dyke, the former player who's now there on staff as an assistant recruiting director, and he's giving a tour of the facilities. That's kind of what's happening now in college football. I mean, basically, programs are trying to survive as best they can, and you know how kids are today with technology, doing the virtual tours, doing the text message threads, doing all that kind of stuff is what they're doing right now. And
I just thought about this. Now that Rick Pitino is back in the mix, he can have virtual prostitutes, and he won't get in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, he can do all the sexting he wants right now. He can do.
Just saying,
I mean, really. I mean, that's what strip clubs are going to become now, right? I mean, you you can probably do it all virtually, and that's it. That's the way we're going to survive this epidemic.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so we'll see how they end up handling it. I just wanted to have a little fun with you and throw a couple subjects around since the NFL is a little bit more prominent, and you follow with it enough. So where are you with the whole Dolphins number 5 thing? Are you on the Tua bandwagon? Are you on the Herbert bandwagon? Do you want a position player because you don't trust either of those guys? Please don't tell me about trading up to Joe Burrow. Eso es una paja mental. Please, let's not get into that, okay? Out of all those other options I gave you.
Well, I think Tua is still, to me, the most talented quarterback in this draft. I know Joe Burrow had a tremendous year at LSU and is worthy of all the praise that he got. I mean, 16 touchdown passes in a season, whatever the hell he did. I mean, statistically, it was just ridiculous. And but to me, Tua is still probably the most proven quarterback of all of them. And, doing it in the SEC every single week, obviously had a great team around him. But to me, he's probably the most proven guy of all the rookies. Honestly, this morning I was thinking about it. With this whole fiasco going on with the Houston Texans and trading DeAndre Hopkins and now Deshaun Watson is kind of upset. I just thought about this a little while ago. Why not trade for Deshaun Watson if the Texans are going to blow this thing up? You can offer that number 5 pick. They can draft another quarterback. I'd rather have the proven Pro Bowl quarterback in Deshaun Watson over an unproven rookie.
I'm with you. I talked about that today on the show that they'll probably keep him this year because it's a $2 million salary, and then the following year it's 10, but it's the final year. So if you don't come up with a contract this year, you're going to lose him next year, or you're going to have to tag him, and then that becomes a real problem and all of that. So you're probably better off trading him, and I would imagine that next year is when that trading market starts for him. But if they want to start a rebuild right away, I'm with you, man. I would trade for Deshaun Watson in a heartbeat, bro. Build an offense, on a studly offensive line in front of him, and let's get rocking.
Yeah, what would you give up, Bo, to get him? Because obviously you said that, the $2 million contract, to get him right now, I would guess it takes at least 2 first-rounders, maybe 3, to get a guy his age in his prime doing what he's done so far.
But we're talking about Bill O'Brien. He doesn't really ask for much. So let's just go with, you know what I mean? Let's just go with, like 1 first-rounder and 1 second-rounder, and then let's see where it goes from there. Because I don't know. With this guy, you might be able to bamboozle his ass. And let me tell you something. If he starts to wait longer and longer, it becomes a more desperate situation for them. But, normally you're in the ballpark, dude. It's going to take at least a couple first-rounders, a couple second-rounders, something like that normally to trade for a guy like that.
Well, I would do it in a heartbeat. And if I'm the Dolphins, that's what I'm trying to do the next few weeks, see if we can pull it off now. Yeah. Because while this thing is hot and he's upset and that guy over there in Houston is thinking about what to do.
But that gets you fired. Yeah. That's the problem there. Yeah. So far the owner's stupid enough to not even realize that Bill O'Brien shouldn't be the GM. Can you imagine if he ends up trading Deshaun? In fact, I think the owner will say, no, there's no way you're trading Deshaun Watson. You're fired. Get the hell out of here. So I don't even think they'll allow that to happen because the city would lose its freaking mind if you trade Deshaun Watson. The Texans fans would just, it would be upheaval all over the place to get rid of that guy. So that's where I think, it's probably not realistic because it will get you fired. But, man, I would love to do that. Now, okay, we agree on this. That would definitely be the move to make. How about the move that is no risk at this point? Okay, you draft Tua, you're drafting an injury-prone guy that could probably stay injured. Herbert's got maturity issues, so you're taking some risk at 5 if you take either guy. Okay, so then why not just take position players, build up that team, right, and go get Jameis Winston right now. It doesn't cost you much. He's not going to ask for a big salary because he can't. Nobody wants him, so he has no leverage. And you try to teach him to play the game the right way. If he doesn't, you cut him. There's no financial burden to it. You lost no draft capital. But if somehow or another you get that guy to limit his interceptions to a reasonable number, you have a top 10 quarterback.
Well, I mean, look, that to me is an okay plan B. I guess when you look at Jameson, what he's done over the course of his career, yes, he's a talented passer, but just so many interceptions, man. And
Amen. I know.
I mean, I don't even know if you would lose enough for you to get a high pick next year to draft a quarterback. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? No, I mean.
Oh no, but listen, he may not start right away. You start with Fitz. You have him earn his way back in there.
Right.
You know, where in practice he's not throwing them. You know what I mean? Or you go from training camp to preseason to practices, where he kind of works his way up to that point that you say, okay, we can trust you. But if he's being a dumbass in the film room and he's being a dumbass on the field, then you don't. He never sees the light of day, and he stays there as a backup, or you cut him and you move on like you've done with. I mean, look at Rosen. They traded for him and they didn't screw around. It was like, nah, dude, you're not good enough. We're putting your ass on the bench. These guys don't screw around, bro. So they're not going to put the guy out there if they think he's a turnover machine. You know what I mean? That's one thing I do like about Flores. He doesn't screw around, dude. You can't play? Okay. Taco started hot. He ended up cold, and he ended up losing playing time. Charles Harris couldn't play. His ass was on the bench. This guy doesn't screw around, dude. He wouldn't play. He's not going to wheel out Winston every week, and he's throwing 3-4 interceptions. No shot. No shot.
I think the way you answer this question is you look at the drafts ahead and the quarterbacks coming out beyond this year. And besides Trevor Lawrence, I mean, and you look at the 21 draft, I mean, the 22 draft, what do you see coming out of college football now that entices you besides Trevor Lawrence?
Fields is the other kid from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Those are considered the top two guys at that spot for next year.
I think if you're the Dolphins, you have to figure out the quarterback situation now, just because I think it's a deeper draft where if somebody comes up and trades for the guy you want, somebody jumps up in front of you, you can take a guy a little bit lower in the draft and be okay with it. I just think you don't know what's going to happen this season. You don't know how other teams are going to be, what situation they're going to be, if they're going to try to lose to get Trevor Lawrence, how that whole situation is going to play out. Or they might be the first two guys taken, and then you don't end up with a quarterback next year. I just think this is such a deep draft. You have a top 5 pick. You make the play for the QB now, in my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's that makes a lot of sense too. I'm just saying, if you don't make the move, then get a Jameis Winston for the hell of it and take a shot at a guy that's got a world of talent right now, and you never know if he figures it out. And you get, I get where you're coming from, because you're like the average person. You've kind of given up on this, that Jameis will figure it out, that he'll never figure it out. This is who he is. He's going to be a turnover machine no matter what you do. That's kind of the way you feel, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do. And then the other thing I question is do the Dolphins have anybody on this coaching staff that is a quarterback whisperer? Is there somebody that can really get this guy to elevate his level of play? I don't know if the Dolphins have that guy. Do they?
Oh, no, we don't know. No. Right now, we have no idea if they have that guy at all.
Well, I meant the quarterback whisperer. Do they have a coach on the staff that can make Jameis better? I don't know that they do.
They have offensive coaches, but we have no idea if they're quarterback whisperers. That's I mean, and you know what? And what scares the crap out of you is that Bruce Arians is one. Okay,
right.
So and
he just failed with him.
Exactly. And that's the part that I completely understand. The people that are like, yeah, no, you know what? Oh, I get it, but yeah, because I just don't see him turning that corner, because once Bruce Arians fails with you, that was a real indictment on Jameis this year. Once that guy failed with you, that really put Jameis in a tough position, because we all said, okay, Bruce should make this guy better. And unfortunately, yeah, he threw for 5,000 yards, but bro, the 30 interceptions, that's never going to help. Right.
Yeah, and that ultimately is what, to me, determines winners and losers in this league. It's the turnovers and the mistakes. And when you got a guy who is just throwing the ball around like that and being careless, I don't know if you ever really outgrow that.
I'm with you there. Just out of curiosity, because you cover the University of Miami, I know you're mainly on the football beat, but you've run into athletes over the years that are in the Olympics, trying out for the Olympics, all of that. And I would imagine there might be another student or two that's Olympic bound. What'd you think of that decision now to delay it for a year? I thought that was finally the right move for them.
Yeah, because really with the Olympics and those other sports, track, swimming, everything that you see in the Olympics, those guys have a schedule, right? They train in a certain way to get ready so that they peak for the Olympics. And, when you disrupt the schedule, nobody's allowed to train, you can't just pick up in the middle of August or whenever the hell it was scheduled and get ready to roll. You have to have other events that lead into it to help these guys prepare to be their best at the Olympics. And I think resetting it one calendar year is the perfect resolution to this, man. I mean, in all honesty, I wouldn't mind seeing sports in general whenever this thing gets figured out. If they got to change the month that we're used to seeing sports take place, do it. Fix the sports calendar. I mean, I know there's a discussion about the NBA saying, well, why don't they just start on Christmas Day anyway? Well, why not? You know what I'm saying? Just start on Christmas Day. I think there's ways to resolve and to survive some of these issues once regular life resumes. And I don't think we should be afraid to play with the sports calendar.
No, well, the NBA makes more sense than anything else because really America doesn't pay attention to the NBA until the end of December when football is done. That's when they start getting some love out there overall. And we still kind of get into that, and you've covered the beat. They call February and late January the lazy days of the NBA because you're kind of like in the middle of the season and people are kind of tired already, and then they're just trying to get over that hump so they could get into March and April and it really picks up and all that, the doldrums of the season, as they say. So, yeah, it would be fantastic if they started in late December because that'll take you right into the summer, and that would allow them to dominate the summer. And, hell, how about the guys that have to travel in the NBA? They deal with less winter months in the travel. That would be nice, too, for those ladies and gentlemen that cover the NBA.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way on that, man. And you know what? With baseball and spring training taking place in February and March, really, is when pitchers and catchers and all the people report. I mean, you could move baseball up a little bit if you needed to. I mean, if this season gets canceled, for instance, baseball season, or the bulk of it gets canceled and they decide to just scrap it, start off a couple months earlier. I mean, they're down in warm weather cities anyway. You're not going to be dealing with the cold. I just think there's adjustments that could be made, and we don't have to be stuck to the way things have always been. I think, that's the one thing we get to do now during this coronavirus pandemic is sit at home and come up with ideas of how to fix sports. And I think there's ways to do it with the calendar for sure.
And by the way, how screwed up is it, dude, if this thing drags on and baseball and soccer get delayed so badly that they're playing deep into December? Those games are not going to be fun for soccer players, for baseball players, if they're playing in those winter cities in December.
Right.
That is going to be a freaking absolute mission, dude.
Well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I think at this point, I mean, if you're only gonna play, let's say sports in general doesn't start up till August, right? And that's what I've heard some people say, thinking that this thing is going to last until August. I mean, there's no way you can do a baseball season August to December. I think you just hit the reset button and say come back in January and we'll start early. I just think there's got to be other ways to get this thing done, man. In the end, this is life and death. This pandemic. I think that has to take precedence, obviously, and it is. But I think, in terms of sports, we can think about it in a different way. We can try to make things work.
So, what are you guys doing over at the Athletic? Give them a little clue on what you guys are doing during the pandemic and how you guys are covering it locally and nationally.
Well, I mean, I've had a couple stories come out in the last week or so. I did 2 last week. It's sort of an in-depth read on the recruiting department, meaning how all the changes that they've made under May Diaz within the last year. When he hired a couple of extra guys, I ended up doing a whole piece sort of examining the 2020 recruiting class from the eyes of the recruiting coordinators, the guys who were right in the middle of it, how it was that they won some of those recruiting battles. So there's a good in-depth story, about 5,000 words, which is really long, but available to read. And then also today I just came out with the top 10 games of the Snellenberger era. I don't know how much you've been doing with your free time. If you have much free time, I know you're always a busy guy working for a bunch of different people, but you know, I spend a lot of my free time on the weekend when the kids go to bed on YouTube, looking at these old sports videos, and they've got all these games online, full games. I'm talking about the full broadcast with commercials and everything in between. And so at a time like this, when you don't have sports, you can go back and watch some of these games. And last night I spent a couple of hours watching the 1973 AFC Championship game. I wasn't alive when it took place. I was born in 78. I'm 41 years old. But it was cool to see the orange, cool to see Bob Greasy running the offense, to see all that kind of stuff. So basically what I did was I put together a list for the Hurricanes of every single football game that I could find game film of, not just highlights, but like the complete game. And so I put together a list from 79 to 83 of the national championship year. I got about 10 videos in there with links. You can just go and read sort of a little summary of what the video and the time is about, what was kind of going on during after that game. And then click on the video link, and you got a couple of hours of entertainment. If you're starved for sports, you're bored at home, you're getting tired of Netflix, definitely check that story out. I'm going to do one with Jimmy Johnson. Probably going to have about 25 games in it, because the JJ era was just unbelievable with all those great games from Notre Dame and Oklahoma and all the games in between.
Let's remind the folks that if I'm correct, for new subscribers, you're giving them 90 days so they can actually check out the content, right?
Free 90 days, and it's kind of a good way to just, you know, again, I know we're all sort of starved for sports news, and what we're doing is we're trying to get creative and come up with interesting stories at The Athletic. I know our college football team just did a fantasy college football coaching draft, the top 40 college coaches, 6 of our national writers, including Andy Staples and Bruce Feldman. They just came out with a story on that. I know everybody in college football is, you know, kind of shocked at some of the picks. Manny Diaz, by the way, didn't make the top 40. The draft anyway. So, I mean, we're being as creative as possible. And you got some amazing sports writers on there, some really, you know, not only just national names, but people regionally. And that membership, free for 90 days right now. I think in the end you can pay basically, I think, $4 or $5 a month if you want to stick with it once the sports season hopefully resumes. But it's a good way to check out everything we've done. Everything's available. It's not just the Miami-only content. It's the whole globe. Soccer overseas, MMA, anything that you're into, we cover it. And we've got great national writers and local writers. And so I would tell you right now, hey, what else are you doing? 90-day free trial. Just make sure you go to one of my stories. Look up Manny Navarro on Twitter and sign up through one of my stories so I get the credit for it.
That's right. Sign up through Manny Navarro, Manny_Navarro there on Twitter. You can get the link and get through it. By the way, any truth to the story, okay, that Manny Diaz wanted to get a jump on everybody else in college football, he's out there recruiting in a hazmat suit. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what he's out there doing, man. You know, it's crazy. I feel for these coaches, because think about how intense their lives are, how they go 100 miles an hour, preparing, recruiting all the time, preparing game plans, studying their own players, film for practice. Imagine the shock to the system right now that all of these guys are going through. Where this is what their life has been, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't get to vacation very long. And I cannot imagine what Manny Diaz has been doing at his house for the last, 9, 10 days, however long he's been hunkered down there, unable to go into his office at Miami, unable to kind of, spend time doing what he normally does. I got to imagine all these coaches, these guys who spend countless hours just busting their ass, trying to get an edge on the other guy, what they're doing with their free time. I'd love to know. I'd love to be able to call up Manny Diaz and just ask him, what the hell are you doing right now, man? Because you gotta be just jonesing to do something football related.
Oh yeah, there's no. Hey, we're all jonesing to do something that's normal. You know what I'm saying? because this new norm is one hell of an adjustment for all of us. And don't forget, this is our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. We do it every Tuesday at this time with Manny Navarro. And follow the folks at Caneswear at Canes_wear. Go to 2511 South University Drive in Davie. And, of course, right now they're closed, but you can shop online there at Caneswear.com. So you can get anything you want. Canes, Dolphins, Marlins, Heat, Panthers, Inter Miami, too. All at Caneswear. Manny, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time. Stay safe out there, baby. Stay corona-free.
You too, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro right here.
We had to get something Canes in, right? So
Definitely. Definitely. Got to get a little Canes in. It's all about the U. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Let me tell you about VSS West Pines. Hey, listen, it's stressful right now, isn't it? There's a lot of anxiety. You want to deal with that? CBD products are the best to deal with a lot of that anxiety and that stress. And if you're suffering from it, others are suffering from it, visit my friends at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. You can call them because you can actually order, okay, pay for it online, and then you can just pull up and they'll come out and give it to you right there. Drive-through, baby. All right? And call them at 954-613-3367. That's 954-613-3367. They're at 12397 Pembroke Road. Go see Jose or Jason, Alex, Tommy. They're all there ready to help you out.
Curbside service, man?
Yes, curbside service because obviously the pandemic's out there. You don't want to go. It's not like there's going to be 50,000 people in the store. There's only going to be a few people in the store.
Okay, so 25,000.
But yes, 25. So if you want to avoid the 25,000 that are in the store, you could just order. You can call them, okay, 954-613-3367, and then they'll walk you through any of the CBD products, flour, tinctures, edibles like chocolates, gummies, jelly beans, ice cream. They've got women's face masks. They've got topicals and salve for pain. So if you're looking for CBD products, remember, it's not illegal. It's not weed. It's the medicinal side of the plant. It is completely legal, okay? You're not doing anything illegal, but you're going to feel a lot better because if you want to relieve that pain, you want to get rid of that stress, you want to relax a little bit. Right now, we can all use a little CBD in our lives. 12397 Pembroke Road. VSSWestPines.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street, open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
We're back. We're ready to rock. And remember, you can always reach out to us there on our YouTube channel. Chime in there if you want. You can always reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Plenty of Dolphins stories and angles. If you missed any of them, remember you can always go back and podcast all of it because Bill puts it all together every single day.
The only thing we're missing is the last segment.
Yep, that's it. We're Manny, and we'll put that up shortly. So we'll be all caught up with you guys, and you'll be able to go through any of that talk. And remember to give us the thumbs up, give us the likes when you're watching on YouTube. Share the link, the YouTube link. Share it, man. Hit that share little arrow and then send it to a text on a friend. Put it on Facebook. Put it on Twitter. Share so people know that there's a place that we can all get together. And we actually care about what you say. We actually read your comments. We actually react.
Even when they don't agree with you and they don't like you.
Yes, and guess what? Unlike regular radio, that doesn't take your phone calls. It doesn't give a rat's ass about what you say, all that. We don't. We actually know that it's kind of a team thing. You know what I'm saying? So we love you for it. We love all the support.
No, you guys are a major component of this show.
Always. Definitely. So we have talked about a lot of things. We had the Brady press conference. If you missed that, that's podcasted for you. We've given you our reaction off of that. We just had Manny Navarro on for you, so all kinds of stuff. Let me ask you something. Charles Barkley, he's raised a little stink by some people in the political world. Why? Because he tested negative for the coronavirus. So the question is, why is he getting tested? Why? Because he sneezed? Why, you haven't sneezed in the last couple of weeks, and you're like, do I have corona? You haven't coughed for something like the last night. Sometimes you swallow wrong, and you got to cough. You cough, and your loved one looks at you and says, are you all right?
That was kind of a big deal because he's an Arizona guy, and the Angels, that's their spring home, Cactus. And he was with all of them. And when that was going on with that test,
right,
there was a major that he could, infested the whole team.
All right, but he wasn't infected. So did he just get nervous because he did a little sneeze or something? And so because he is privileged, he got a test? And so that's what a lot of people are saying. They're saying we need to stop testing NBA players. Just because we want to test them to see if they're positive. If you're not showing any signs, that's how me and my family are carrying ourselves. We don't want to go to the hospital and bother somebody when somebody could need the help. If I'm not showing any signs, if I'm not short of breath, if I don't have a fever, if I don't have a cough, then why am I going to get tested? Would I like to get tested? Hell yeah, I would. Because subconsciously, it's in the back of our minds. You, me, everybody, we're all in the same boat. We're all worried about it, and when you cough, you wonder.
Consideration for your loved ones, man.
Right.
It could be 11 days, and here you are just hanging out at the house thinking you're good, and you're spreading it through the family.
Exactly. So a lot of people have been kind of in arms about, Barkley coming back. And first of all, they're like, well, why did he get a test? Because he sneezed or something? And we have people that are actually sick and they can't get a test. That part that's kind of screwed up, man. It really is. And some people want to complain about that. I can understand. T-Bone, Big O, yesterday you was talking about the Fishes CB situation. You got a hard-on talking about the potential. What if Miami drafts Delpit 26? Wait, what then? What, then you got more depth? I don't know. It still doesn't. I'm still excited about Jones and Howard together. Still really excited about that. Okay. Luis Negron says, Brian Cox was an amazing middle linebacker. Love the way he played for us. Them fingers to the Jets stands every game. I think it was the Bills, my man, that he was giving the finger to, not the Jets. I want to say that. I want to say it was the Bills. Luis Negron, Miami only needs a hard-hitting safety. Maybe they can grab Von Bell. Man of 1,005 holds, loves Shula, no-nonsense coach. If you didn't do a right route, he would sit you down. He didn't want to use an opposing team's playbook. Yep, I remember that. Samuel Rosa, have to go, be safe, and see you on the next live chat. Well, thank you, Samuel, for chiming in. Torrens says, let me know, Big O. I got a couple of pounds of Colorado CBD on deck, baby. Hashtag prepared, LOL. You're in Colorado. I think it's got more than CBD. Okay? All right? But thank you for the offer. Maybe I'll visit you when I'm in Colorado. Jonathan Dill. You know, I like going to Red Rocks.
We do play Denver.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, we might be there for we might just go to Denver. Jonathan Dill, hey, Big O, what about a trade with the Panthers by giving them our 18th pick, our second-round pick this year, and our third pick, and our 7th pick in the draft, and get Simmons? That guy's a beast. It's a nice fantasy. I don't know why you guys come up with these fantasy drafts. Whether you like it or I like it, it means nothing.
Man, if you're going to get somebody from the Panthers, get McCaffrey.
No, he's talking about getting their pick. So they can get Simmons.
I'm thinking
get
McCaffrey.
Yeah, but you can't let go of that guy. NorCal says, Big O, if this virus can lay dormant in our body for 11 days, I think it's a good idea to test everyone, even though they aren't showing any signs. I say to myself, so I'm not a threat to the public. I agree with you, NorCal, when we get to the point that we have enough to test everybody. But right now, since the tests are limited, let's limit that to the people that are truly sick so we can find out if they are. We're not at a point where we can test everybody. That's the problem. That's where the people that are complaining about Barkley are correct, because we have a lot of people in this country that are literally sick and they can't get a test because we don't have enough. Not yet. So that's where those stages haven't gotten there. I'd like to get to the stage where anybody can get tested. But first and foremost, let's test the people that are sick, because we have to worry about them.
Massive amounts of testing right out the blocks is how South Korea got out in front of this.
Yeah.
They were able to test massive numbers.
Right.
And that's how they were able to immediately, you're isolated.
Yep. Andy Raphael says, I'm wishing we get physical, both sides of the line of scrimmage. That's going to happen. They just have to get the players, my man. Remember, they just started this rebuild. So, yeah, especially you can specifically expect that. King Short, everybody stay safe at home, be vigilant. We will make it to see our Finns rock. Amen to that. Davey Johnson says, yep, Bills. So, it was Bills that he gave the finger to. Thank you. Torrance says, come on by, brother, during the Denver game. I'll be there. We can hang out in the tailgate if possible. I'd love to meet you. Well, I think we might go to one of the Denver game. I don't know yet. We got to see the schedule. But
I was just going to say.
If Denver and the Raiders are back-to-back, we're there. Because we'll stay for a little over a week and go to 2 games.
Okay, so right now we're obviously at the Jets.
For sure, the Jets and the Raiders.
San Francisco is in play, and now Denver's in play.
Right.
I love the way we're thinking.
Yeah, I don't know which one's going to be tied to the Raiders, but I would imagine they're going to have our Dolphins out there for 2 weeks. That would only make sense. You don't want to make them go back to Miami for a week and then go back out west again. That doesn't make any sense. So that way Miami can stay out west, and we can actually stay wherever they're at, and we can cover the team and do the show all week, wherever they're at. Okay? Troy George says, worst place to be if you're healthy is lining up with a bunch of coronavirus positive people. Yes and no, Troy. If you're in your car, it's one of those drive-thrus. That's not so bad. You're good. You're not going to get sick. What you don't want to do is walk into hospitals right now just because you think you might have something. You know what I mean? That does not make sense, ladies and gentlemen. That's the part that you got to avoid.
Yeah, I think they've said flat out, unless it's an absolute emergency and you are, near dire straits, you don't go to the hospital.
I agree. I don't want to go to a hospital right now. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Like everybody, we're all like Sheldon right now with the hospital.
Yes. You should be. Nothing wrong with that. It's not an insult. Who wants to pick it up? You don't want to pick it up because you might give it to somebody else. That's not a lot of fun. Kudos to Canada. They finally announced this morning, it was kind of reported yesterday that they're thinking of postponing, and then they came out and said, well, we're going to think about it over the next 4 weeks. But Canada, we talked about it yesterday. They stepped up and said, we're done. We don't care what you do. We're not sending our athletes till next year if you want to postpone it. Then we're good with next year. We're not good with a month from now, 2 months after. No. We're not doing that. And so kudos to Canada, but finally the IOC stepped up and postponed it to next year. And look, I understand. Sponsors, commitments. You've been building stuff for years now. There's billions of dollars that have been committed to all of this in every way, shape, and form. But we have to do what's best for humanity. Because in the end, humanity is more important than the NFL season. Humanity is more important than the NBA season. Humanity is more important than the Olympics. Because without humanity, there are no sports.
Is humanity more important than the economy?
Yeah, well.
That's the big question right now, buddy.
Yeah, some people might think the economy is more important than humanity. But anyway, that's another subject to address. But at least for the IOC, they finally stepped up. And I get why they took so long. I don't agree with it. You had to come to this realization already. But look, they finally did it. You got plenty of time. It's not like anybody, hey, we were all packed and on the plane and you just canceled it and we got to get off the plane. No, we got months. So they got plenty of time. Everybody can cancel. And here's the other thing. Talk about VSS West Pines, okay? CBD and stress, those athletes were under some serious stress, man. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for them. They're trying to set up for this, and now they're thinking, I can't train. Are they really going to hold this thing? It's going to put me at a disadvantage. Now they have a year to think about it. And now everybody can kind of calm down now. But there is one group of people that we all have to feel for. Because this COVID-19 thing has gotten in the way for all of us. One way or another, we're losing money, we're losing jobs, we're losing businesses, we're losing opportunities, we're losing seasons in sports, we're losing the Olympics. But how about the athletes that maybe this was their pinnacle? And they know it, age-wise or whatever, and they just won't be the same next year. Those are the people you feel for. That this is the year this is the moment they had a shot. And then next year physically they may not be there. Those are the people I feel for. And it's not a lot, it's not the majority of them, but it's going to be a small percentage of them. And you got to feel for that because let's say they were working for that their entire lives and this was their window and it closes on them because of the virus. Man. You got to feel for those kind of athletes that they lose out on this opportunity. What a shame. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105.
The whole entire athletes village has been like basically sold. And it's going to be interesting to see from a logistics where they put the athletes.
No, they could probably run it back.
Just tell them, hey, you got to wait.
Well, if you
No moving it for you.
If you rent it back, they make money.
You know what? You can move.
Like,
you know what?
It's like
yes.
not timeshare. Whatever. When you buy a.
My aunt and uncle did that with
an Airbnb.
Aspen. They did it with Aspen.
They all
out
turn
in
into
Aspen.
they turn into
their condo,
Airbnbs.
and they'd rent it out. They would actually have to reserve their condo to go to it.
Right. So they'll reserve it next year
you know
as
what,
an
man? That's
Airbnb, and
brilliant.
that's it.
And they get to get out of town if they don't want to deal with all the nonsense, and let's go on vacation.
You know what? They all get to rent them out, and you give them all tickets to a couple events. And that's it. You offset it, and they'll be fine. Whatever, bro. Big O and Bill, I'm thinking we have a CBD smokeout in Denver and San Francisco. Then compare the two tailgate menus. There you go. And we'll do that all on YouTube also, so we can entertain the folks. You guys are a trip. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. Daniel Powell says, just my opinion for the Dolphins, but I would like to see offensive tackle at 5, a tackle at 5, an offensive tackle at 18, if one is available in either running back or safety at 26. Hard to argue with any of those. We'll see what happens.
Oh, the Alabama receivers. Are these guys all going in the first for sure?
Some of them, yeah.
But all three. Are the three of them going in the first, man?
No.
No.
Two of them for sure, I would say. Let's see. Leo says, what's it going to help the country is having those 45-minute tests for COVID-19 at pharmacies. People can do their home test and go their test and go home from there. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Well, when that comes out, and then we're able to do it, but we haven't gotten to the point where everybody's got it. We got to test the people that are sick, really sick, first and foremost. Hope the Dolphins bring back Frank Gore just to set an example for the running backs. Ooh. You know, Richard, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to bring something up that I don't think is going to happen with the Frank Gore situation. I think that they'll draft a running back, and having Howard there, he's a veteran running back. So that's kind of where you get your guy pretty much. I was telling you the other day that I wouldn't mind Cam Wake coming back for one more go-around because, listen, your fifth defensive end, your last defensive end was Charles Harris last year. He's useless. And to have Cam Wake there, that could be a good influence on all the other DNs. They can look to him for some leadership, some guidance. You can use Cam on third downs, on rushing, on passing downs, things like that. Limited basis. The fifth it's not like Miami's going to have 5 great or 6 great defensive ends. So if that last defensive end is kind of like a part-time player, teacher, mentor, that kind of guy, it's not so bad. You know, I overlooked something, and I made a mistake when I said that. And while I would like for it to happen, it's really not realistic, probably. Do you know why? Kyle Van Noy was acquired. And Kyle Van Noy is the guy that, okay, this is Flores' system. Is Wake going to know Flores' system better? No. Is Wake a better player than Kyle Van Noy right now? No. So who better to have as a leader, as a mentor, as a guy to lean on in this system, and an experienced guy with a title in Kyle Van Noy? It makes a lot of sense. And that's where I would tell you that Frank Gore doesn't make any sense anymore because he's a power short yardage back. You have it in Jordan Howard. That's why you signed him. He's way younger. He's 25 years old, not 35 years old. So there's a 10-year difference and a whole lot of miles. And Cam Wake has a whole lot of miles. Couple of injuries now down the stretch here in his career. And Kyle Van Noy is injury-free. He's younger. He knows the system way better than Cam Wake. And so it's nostalgic. There's a leadership quality to it. But really, in the end, you can get the same kind of leadership and the experience, and you get more of a football player in Jordan Howard than you do in Frank Gore. You get more of a football player in Kyle Van Noy than you do in Cameron Wake. So while I would like to see it, in hindsight, when I think about it now, it doesn't make sense for Miami. You're better off. You have your guy on defense, and you have your guy already on offense. Unfortunately, it is time to move on. It is time, as Bob Seger would say, to turn the page on Frank Gore and on Cam Wake.
And roster spots, if you're talking about carrying 4 quarterbacks,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, no,
you'd rather put them there
yeah.
than have those guys, you know.
You just have to, it's just the right thing to do, man. And at this point, it just doesn't make sense. You know, as much as I love Cam Wake and would love to see him close out his career here. And
be part of the rejuvenation, go out on a high note.
Yeah, it would be nice, but we've passed that point of no return. All right? As Expose or Kansas used to say. I don't know. And I didn't try to rhyme and rap at the same time, but, you know, we did accomplish that. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Let's do this. Let's tell you a little bit about EJD Construction. Love talking about Eric and John. And listen, you got a lot of time on your hands right now, and maybe you want to improve one part of your home. Maybe you want to add an entire room to your house. You want to add an addition. Maybe you want to improve that man cave. You want to modernize that kitchen. That thing is old. It's 15, 20, 25 years old. It's out of date. And you're like, all right, we got to do something. Call EJD Construction. You got all that dead time right now? Get it done, man. Call Eric right now, 305-318-4978. Proud sponsor of our show, proud listener of our show for a long time. So he's one of us, man. You're going to love talking sports with him. He's got a great staff that's been with him for years. It's not like he stops at Home Depot and picks up a couple guys, then, joins you at your house. If you're looking, now I'm not talking about a handyman. I'm talking about custom home construction or major home remodeling. Call him right now, 305-318-4978. Save it on that cell phone, 305-318-4978 for EJD Construction.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when you unused. 50% less. Pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. Pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. Pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. up until midnight.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We're back. We are starting hour number 4 here on the program. I don't know how much more will go when it's all said and done. Some music news. As you've noticed, we have not played Rockville. Why? Because it was officially canceled yesterday, Rockville. So, unfortunately, and we were giving away several pairs of passes for that weekend. And that sucked,
3
man.
fun-filled, rocking out days in Daytona, man.
Yep. That would have been awesome, too. And Daytona, which is
2 different sets by Metallica,
I know.
Friday and Sunday.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know. It absolutely sucks. Now, I did not know this, okay? But Metallica also canceled all their other dates, right? And I, again, had no idea that this was going on. They canceled their dates in Central America and South America. And those dates, do you know who the opening act was in South America?
Inform us.
Greta Van Fleet.
No. Yeah, guess where we would have been going?
No, I'm still going. They're going to reschedule them for later on. I got to go to that, dude. Greta Van Fleet opening up for Metallica? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? Of course I'm there. So I follow Greta on Twitter, along with Metallica and a couple hundred other bands that I follow on Twitter. And so yesterday they tweet this out, and I see it, and I start reading it, and I'm like, what? Greta opening up for Metallica? Are you
didn't find out about it until it canceled?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It says, for the well-being of everyone, our South American dates with Metallica are postponed to December. We are working to share the change of plans with you as soon as possible. While the new dates are finalized in each city, your health and safety are always a top priority for us. It is disappointing to have to wait to see you, but now is the time to create social distance for the security of all. The universe is asking for us to look inward in these troubling times. Take this opportunity to slow down and savor the details. We are always together in spirit, even when apart. Now is the time to be responsible, to embrace hope, and cultivate peace, love, and unity. Damn. Boy, you got to be really high to write that. Anyway, so nice job by Greta that they reminded me that they are now opening up in December. And the soccer season.
How the hell did you not know that Greta was I don't know how that didn't blip on your radar.
Yes, I just wasn't thinking about it at the moment, really. But now that I hear like a blast.
Bro, those shots in Chile and
whatever,
dude,
anywhere, Argentina, Brazil,
yes,
you name it.
60, 70,000 maniacs.
And super passionate. Like they love the music. Like it's not phony, guys. They're not going there to be seen or anything like that. You know what
Greta
I mean?
has some lives in South America,
I know.
and you would think they were watching Iron Maiden.
Yeah. In fact, now that I mentioned it, when I get off the air, I'm probably going to go downstairs and watch a Greta concert just to get me in the mood. But I saw that, and that's cool. Now, I got something for you.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's throw some props to Mr. Picari, those Def Leopards that he said.
Yes.
I cannot believe.
Okay,
the
but
quality.
let me stay on point here. Okay. Metallica, since we're talking about Metallica, they have come up with something new because we're all stuck at home. right? And I saw this on Kerrang. Remember the magazine? Well, you can go to the website, man, okay? I know we used to get the Kerrang and Hit Parade and Cream and all of that. Remember back in the day? So Kerrang, they do a great job with their website. So Metallica has fired up a new online series, okay? Metallica will be streaming full sets online every Monday for fans who need to take a break from Netflix before you binge and watch their entire library. You can join a list of growing bands that are coming up with new and exciting ways to help cure fans' boredom during self-isolation and coronavirus pandemic. I got to tell you, for those of us that love music, if you follow music on social media and websites and all of that, these folks are coming through for us in a big-time way with all kinds of entertainment. So every Monday, they will be appropriately titled #Metallica Mondays. The Metal Heroes will be unveiling a full concert stream via their YouTube channel and Facebook page, with the first killer set already out, which was yesterday. They performed at Slane Castle on June 8th of 2019. It says, the quote, "Need to take a break from Netflix before you binge their entire library? We're introducing our brand new concert series, #Metallica Monday, debuting tonight," which was last night on YouTube. It has to be said, Slane Castle gig is a brilliant way to kick things off. It's an 18-song set list consisting of mega hits, Sad But True, Master of Puppets, and One, but also newer favorites like Spit Out the Bone and Moth into Flame, as well as the new weekly series. Metallica has posted an extended message to fans, or Update from the Bunker, as they've titled it, about what they're doing right now, their future gigs, as well as sending their love to everyone during these trying times. Here's to looking back on this period soon with renewed appreciation for all the amazing times together with our extended Metallica family around the world. For now, go hang with your significant other, kids, pets, parents, whomever you have in your space. Create your playlist, watch some movies, try some old-fashioned board games, and most importantly, stay safe. We'll keep in touch. There you go. So that is super cool now. So every Monday, you can go to the Metallica YouTube and Facebook pages and get a new concert and a new set. How cool is that? That's,
That is awesome, man.
That's fantastic.
Oh, wow.
That's caring about your fans and putting it out there, man. I love that. I love that. I mean, listen, if you've ever seen Metallica live, you know what I'm talking about, because you never walk away from a Metallica concert and saying, whoa, they didn't kick ass. No, they kicked ass. They sold out completely every time.
Energy from the band, energy from the crowd, 1A, 1B, Iron Maiden, Metallica, man.
Yeah, I would say so. And you know what? Metallica and Iron Maiden do have something a lot in common. They continue to gain fans, whereas, like we talked about this, as much as I love the Scorpions and Judas Priest, they didn't gain any new fans. They're living off of their
stuck
old
in their
fans.
time. Yeah,
they're living
capsuled.
off. Yeah, and Iron Maiden's not like that. Iron Maiden has new fans, and so does Metallica. Metallica has tons
and
more.
When you go to the concert,
more than Maiden.
When you go to the concert,
I mean, that's why they can do stadiums.
When you go to the
Iron
concert,
Maiden can't do stadiums.
When you go to the concert, though, everybody is decked out in Metallica.
Yeah.
Everybody's decked in Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. It's there's a commitment to those bands unlike others. I would agree with that. The Great Fear says, we're listening from D.C. for our Dolphins fix. Since we're stuck inside, we bought a record player and vinyls. If you had to choose only one album to listen to on vinyl, which one would it be? Dude. Wow. Man. One album. Wow. That's really hard, man. That's like impossible to do. U2 War. That's it. I'll go with that because, man, I really want Number of the Beast. Screaming for Vengeance. I mean, I could think of a couple of albums. Led Zeppelin 4 would be one that I would love to. There's so many to just have one. That's really hard, man. But I'll go U2 War.
Do you remember back in the day, one of the questions, high school, if you were on a desert island, in the, out in the Pacific, whatever, on an island, you could take one band, you'd be able to listen to them all the time. Who would be the one band that you could bring all their material? And it was Zeppelin because of diversity, U2, the Beatles.
Yeah,
it's hard to just go one.
Oh, God. If I had to pick between U2 and Iron Maiden, that would be so brutal for me. So brutal. Bone C says, what's up? What's up, Bone C? Thank you, sir. Happy to have you aboard. Mark McIntyre says, Trevor Lawrence to Belichick, it's a lock. Well, they'd have to lose all their games and be number one. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to be that bad. Let's see. I would sign Newton for QB sneaking. NorCal says, Big O, I spent a lot of time listening to Tool live shows on YouTube before and after your show. My favorite is to watch a concert I was at. 11520 Tool at Fresno. Fins for Life. That's a good one too. You know what? I'm gonna watch a couple concerts today. Diego is on the zone here. So is Mike No Go Zones. Iron Maiden rules. He says. Max Support says Rush Moving Pictures. Nah, that would be a really good one. That's a really good album to have. Rush Moving Pictures. Van Halen 1 would be a perfect album to have in a loop. It's just too many. It's too many.
Fair Warning.
Fair Warning. Wow, that's my favorite Van Halen album, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Big O, don't.
So this is love?
Yeah, don't forget Rush, Neil Peart, R.I.P. We're not forgetting him. We're not forgetting him at all. Mike No Go Zone says, what album? Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Wow, that's a perfect album. It's just hard to pick one album because you'd be cheating yourself out of so many other albums. Like, I don't know how many of you out there like alternative music, but The Cure, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me is a hell of an album. The Head on the Door is a great freaking album. Drubo says they are killing it in the front office. I love they seem to have a plan to get the D and the free agent draft in offense. I want shooters, baby. I'm with you. And for the one fan that's in D.C. that was listening, we did talk a lot of Dolphins today. So you can podcast it, okay? And you can rewind, I guess, on YouTube. But we talked a lot of Dolphin subjects that you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get it on any well, they're
it's up already.
Yeah, it's already up on remember to subscribe to our channel on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and here on YouTube, it's always Big O Radio Show. So subscribe to it, please. Share the link to everybody out there, and you'll be able to hear all of that stuff that we've got posted. All right? What else do we have going on here on the program? Oh, congratulations to some XFL players. So, yesterday we talked about it when it broke that P.J. Walker signed with Carolina, right? And we brought on a reporter from Carolina to talk a little bit about that because we're the only show that's going to do that locally. P.J. Walker signs a 2-year, $1.55 million deal with Carolina. And this is now starting to open up the gates for the XFL players. Derek Nichols, the cornerback, he signed with the New Orleans Saints now. How about that? And Jordan Ta'amu, that we've been talking about him. How about this? Jordan Ta'amu, athletic, big, strong, got a great arm. Not, consistently accurate. That's something that they've got to work on with him. But, man, they made him pretty productive this year considering how raw he was. Guess who signed him? The Kansas City Chiefs. Remember what we talked about yesterday, that you never stop looking for quarterbacks, and how the New England Patriots, throughout the 20 years of Brady, they kept drafting quarterbacks no matter what? Well, last time I checked, Kansas City has what we label now the best quarterback in the NFL, correct? Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Can we agree on that?
Anybody that's going to argue that, like, you're going to get your NFL football card revoked.
Right. Exactly.
Sorry, you don't know.
So they went and signed Jordan Ta'amu. That's why I told you. So what happens if Pat Mahomes suffers an injury, which, by the way, he did this year? Okay? Or last year, shall I say, because we're in 2020. But he did suffer a lower leg injury, was out for a couple of weeks, right?
My fantasy quarterback, he was out 3.
Okay, so you had to bring in like a 77-year-old quarterback to take over for him. Now you've got Jordan Ta'amu, who can do a lot of the athletic things. Because remember, once you went to the backup quarterback, you had to change the offense. You couldn't do exactly the things that he does. Not that anybody really can do what Pat Mahomes does. Let's be honest here. But what I mean is how Pat can move around and throw the ball. Jordan has that kind of skill set. Again, not saying Jordan Ta'amu is Pat Mahomes. But what I love about what Kansas City did, and that's what I want our Dolphins to be. That's why I told you earlier, why not bring in Jameis Winston at this point? What does it hurt? If he keeps throwing interceptions in practice, he never starts, and you cut his ass. If he gets better, you end up playing him. You can't lose. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They have Pat Mahomes, but then they see this kid in the XFL, and you cannot argue his talent. Some of you out there, you didn't watch the XFL. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Those of you that watch the XFL, you know what I'm talking about with Jordan Ta'amu. You saw that, whoa, hey, man, wait a minute. This guy's raw, but he's got some ability. And you cannot teach it. What Jordan has, you can't teach. You can't be, I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", athletic as hell, can run around like a deer, and he's got a rocket for an arm. Now, you got to fine-tune it all because he's raw. But that's where Andy Reid says, hey, man, I can work with him. He's a quarterback guru, isn't he? That's a perfect example of what I was talking about the day before, that you can never stop looking for quarterbacks. That's why I wouldn't mind if the Dolphins would have signed Jordan Ta'amu. I wouldn't mind if they signed P.J. Walker, and I don't mind if they signed Jameis Winston. Do you know why? It's not costing you a draft pick. It's not costing you big money. It's not costing you monster cap space. All it is you taking the time to try to teach the young man how to play the game at this level. And then you'll find out, Jordan, can you play? Yes, no, you're here, you're gone. PJ, can you play? Yes, no, you're here, you're gone. Jameis Winston, can you stop turning over the football? Yes, no, you're gone.
In reference to him, that idea of him being on the practice team, going up against our number one, our corners.
Right.
If he could get through those two guys, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's it. And then he'll show you in practice. You know Fitzpatrick is a starter, and you'll tell him, hey, Jameis, you need to learn the system. You need to get comfortable in it, and then we need you to play smart football. And once you're playing smart football, we will elevate you to starting. But you're going to come in and earn your keep. And it's what I told Manny. Flores doesn't F around, dude. He's not going to play you if you're screwing off. So I'm saying it doesn't hurt.
Just ask Rosen.
Search for quarterbacks everywhere. Take chances everywhere, especially in places that you have nothing to lose. Which really, that's what this is all about. You have nothing to lose. And all these players, P.J. Walker in Carolina, Derek Nichols at New Orleans, and Jordan Ta'amu at Kansas City, these are no-risk, high-reward moves. It's like signing Nick Needham. It's the same thing. Nick Needham was a nobody. Preston Williams was an undrafted nobody. You sign them, they work out, great. They don't, you cut them. It's not like you tied them down to a $20 million signing bonus and now you're stuck with them for another year because you don't want that to accelerate into the cap and kill you. So, okay, we can't cut them. And there are players like that around the league that some teams are stuck with the guy for an extra year because Rashad Jones, they just like hung on for him last year. Like, okay, well, we can use him some, but we don't want to take the cap hit. We'll do it next year. And boom, they let him go.
Right now, my idiot Bears, we're tied 3 years.
Right.
And he has the option to leave if he wants.
Yeah,
but if he does what he normally does, he's going to stay right where he is.
Right. But obviously they think he can play. That's the thing that's going on there.
Yeah, well, the problem is that they thought, and that's the problem. Don't think, Pace. Don't think, Niggy.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up here on the show. We thank all of you, as always, for tuning in. John and Bill, excellent work by you guys, as always. I know, it's only a mere 3 hours and 20 minutes, right? And that's all we can do today.
The breaks were really, without the Metallica and the Rockville and the roll, the breaks were really small.
Oh, no, we gave you enough talk that would be on a regular radio station, because they have like 27 minutes of commercials and updates and traffic reports in an hour, because you really don't talk more than 33 minutes in an hour on regular radio. So we gave you, really, for regular radio, we gave you about, 6 hours of talk.
Can I pay you a compliment, man?
What's that?
How you pulled out this much sports talk with no sports going on.
Yeah.
You did awesome, brother.
We tried. I mean, that's what I'm here for. That's what my job is, to create the kind of talk that makes you think a little bit, have a little fun with it. We can agree or disagree, because that's what this is all about, right? Just have a little fun with it. Lord knows we're all going to be wrong 10,000 times over, but let's have fun with it while we're at it. You know what I'm saying? We thank Manny Navarro also with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Make sure you check it out. You cannot go to Caneswear at 2511 South University Drive. They are closed right now, but they are open online, so you can order online at caneswear.com, all right? So check it out. Go to their website, too, caneswear.com. Check out all the goods there, all right? We appreciate all of you out there for tuning in. Don't forget to share the link on the YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Like that thumbs up. And share the YouTube link with friends and family members. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. rocking and rolling with plenty of talk, even some sports talk. We can give you sports talk.
Imagine that.
Like nobody can. Yeah, it was like 3 hours and 20 minutes. Only a little bit of music talk inside of it.
I do not know how you did this, bro.
I know. We try, and we'll try again tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Be good out there. Be safe.
Please.
Stay away from crowds.
Yes. Wash your hands.
Mucho amor.